And a shot up the right side. It's a Yankees baseball on MSG Network. From Yankee Stadium, the New York Yankees meet the Texas Rangers. Pitching for the Rangers, Mark Pekaisik. And on the mound for the Yankees tonight, Wade Taylor. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Yankees baseball. Tonight, the Yankees and the Texas Rangers move into the second game of their three-game series. The Yankees winning a thriller last night. I'm Dwayne Statz. Tony Kubek will be along in just a moment. It's nice to have you with us. Well, in this series, we have two managers who from time to time have felt, well, a little heat. Bobby Valentine, in his 7th year as the manager of the Texas Rangers, is expected to win. He won 14 in a row recently, but the Rangers have struggled over the last week and a half. And just about a month ago, Stump Merrill's New York Yankees were struggling with that trip to the West Coast. And with the idea that 5 managers have already been fired, Leyba, Zimmer, Rogers, Wathan, and Frank Robinson, Tony Kubek caught up with Stump just a few moments ago and asked him why all of a sudden is he such a genius.
I don't think I've done anything drastically differently, Tony, other than the fact that I think the longer you're with a group, the better you know them. And I think that even though I had them for the entire spring, there were some new people involved. Our pitching struggled in phases of it during the early going. And I think the addition of a Howe to our staff was a guy that was a complete unknown to me. And then getting him up here and seeing what he can do for us, I think that, I just have a better understanding of what each guy is capable of doing and try to put them into the role that they fit the best. And I think that we've been fortunate that we've had some success of late in this manner, and I think that hopefully it's going to continue.
And Tony, don't you think that one of the things that Stump likes now is that he has some of the personnel that he really wanted, a month or so ago?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Gene Michaels provided a couple of young pitchers, and Pasquale, of course, come up, and the kid at third base, Pat Kelly. I think what Stump is doing, which is a wise thing for all managers. First of all, he's not over-managing. He's managing less than he did early in the year. Remember all the moves earlier? He was running out of players. All the pitchers wouldn't trust the left against the right. But maybe more importantly, we've talked about this before, he's a people's man. And he took two, how should I say, free spirits, Pasquale Perez, Steve Howe, and Mal Hall, fit them into the picture where they have not run roughshod over him.
And when it comes to moves, we do have two managers here who, in the past, have loved to make moves, Bobby Valentine and Stump Merrill. We'll see how it goes tonight as the Yankees entertain the Rangers, and we'll be back with the first pitch following this. Stadium, 82 degrees, the humidity at 33%, and just a light breeze right now in the park, blowing across from left to right at 8 miles per hour. We're happy to have the Armed Forces Network join us for our coverage of tonight's action from Yankee Stadium. Those fellows there here at the ballpark to witness what's going on. Always nice to have our servicemen aboard. And Wade Taylor makes his second big league start, coming off a victory over the Milwaukee Brewers in his debut.
The man who gave himself a C for his first outing in the Major League uniform, and he hopes he can push it to a B. And Mark Connor, his pitching coach, would like to see him pitch a little more, not try and throw every fastball by these Major League hitters, especially dangerous against the Texas Rangers, a good hitting ball club.
So Taylor's on the mound for the Yankees, and this is the lineup he'll face. Brian Downing, the DH, leads off. Rafael Palmeiro to be followed by the right fielder Ruben Sierra. Julio Franco, the second baseman, hitting cleanup. Juan Gonzalez is in left. Gino Petrelli is the catcher. Steve Buchel's at third. Mario Diaz is the shortstop, and Gary Pettis in center field will hit ninth. Tony, the last time out, with a little better defensive work, Taylor could have maybe given up only 2 runs.
And it'll be interesting to see, Dwayne, with Kelly running better in center field, Mullen sitting out today against a right-hander. Matt Noakes will catch for the first time Wade Taylor. It was Guerin the last time, and Guerin also caught the left-hander Jeff Johnson. Let's see how Noakes works Wade Taylor today. I'm sure he and Bobby Guerin talk. They have their pitchers-catchers meetings, which includes Mark Connor, how they're going to pitch hitters. But sometimes that isn't enough. A catcher's got to feel immediately what is working for that pitcher. If the fastball pitcher's not working, he's got to take him along, get the breaking stuff going, and off-speed stuff until the fastball comes.
Here's Brian Downing, who so far through the first couple of months of the season has been a real find for the Texas Rangers. First pitch is a strike. So this one underway.
Temperature 84 degrees.
Upstairs, a ball and a strike to Downing. The Franklin batting leaders, including Brian Downing, number 4, and Ruben Sierra, 5th. Cal Ripken Jr. still atop the American League on the Franklin board.
I think it's interesting that the 4 top are right-handed hitters. And then a switch in.
Fly ball into left center, sending Roberto Kelly over for it. He handles it for the out.
There's some years in the American League in the recent past where you could see the top 10, 7 were hitting from the left side or were switch hitters. So the cycle may be changing.
Well, there's a guy you figure will be among the top 5 maybe in the league before it's all over. Rafael Palmeiro.
Terrific bat control, uses the whole field. He's gotten a lot stronger since you saw him in his days with the Cubs in the weight program.
Hitting .314 right now. Fastball is up and away. Ball 1.
If you saw Wade Taylor's last outing and Bobby Valentine is seeing Wade Taylor for the first time, he throws very hard, low 90s at times, also throws a sinking fastball, and he surprised us, I thought, Dwayne, or did me, the kind of curveball he had.
And
he changing
speeds on the curveball. And he also has that changeup. He is behind Palmeiro 3-0, but we saw him throw a couple of changeup curves. Outstanding pitches against Milwaukee. Base is empty with 1 out, and Palmeiro looks at a strike on the corner. It's 3-1. We had a shot a moment ago of Bobby Valentine. He's been in Texas since May of '85. This one's going to be out of play, and Taylor comes back to go 3-2 on Rafael Palmeiro.
A little different action on that 3-1 fastball to Palmeiro. It kind of surprised him. He'd been throwing four-seam riding fastballs. That had a little more sinking action. Darted down and away, and he got it off the end of the bat.
Rangers have lost 5 straight. And Taylor is going to get Palmeiro with this pop into left. Hall is there waiting. So Taylor comes back and retires Rafael Palmeiro.
Wade Taylor, to me, is throwing harder than he did his first outing. He threw some pitches hard the first outing, but they were generally up and out of the strike zone when he was overthrowing. He's a little freer and easier for the first 2 hitters, which is understandable.
Yep. Here's Ruben Sierra. Sierra, we showed you a moment ago, 5th in the American League in hitting at .335. That despite an 0 for 14 streak he's in right now.
He's swinging a lot of bad pitches lately. He and Juan Gonzalez, the rookie right-handed hitter.
Yeah, they say the middle part of this order has really expanded the approach to hitting, expanding the strike zone, and they're no longer getting much production from the bottom side of the order. Counts 1-1 with that foul ball, and that's what Sierra has to say about his recent slump.
And they should pitch around. Just a couple of seasons ago, some felt he should have been the MVP and not Robin Yount.
Including Ruben Sierra. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. There's no question of his ability.
He's playing the outfield a lot better. He said he has really worked on it.
It's out of play.
And, of course, Juan Gonzalez being brought up. It's a little bit of a personal challenge. Sierra and Gonzalez. Sierra came up in 19. Gonzalez still young.
2 outs, bases empty. Taylor's gone to 2-2 on Ruben Sierra. And a full count on this hitter. has homered in every American League park in which he's played except Yankee Stadium. He hasn't been to Comiskey Park yet, the new one. This one's out of play.
I think this is the Wade Taylor they were raving about in those first 3 outings, a couple of complete games when he hit Columbus, and the guy that pitched the the championship game against the Baltimore franchise at AAA last fall.
And he walks Sierra. So Taylor, who gave up 1 walk in 5 1/3 innings his first time out, issues the pass off the 3-2 pitch to Sierra, bringing along the second baseman Julio Franco.
See the movement on that last fastball, 3-2. Again, he went with the seam and just kept running out of the strike zone.
Franco hitting .303.
He is not your ideal 4th place hitter, but until Juan Gonzalez, the big right-handed hitter, gets his feet on the ground, he'll be in the 4 slot someday. Although Franco's been a pretty good RBI man. Some of that came when he was in the 2 slots for Bobby Valentine.
And he takes a strike. He's been bothered off and on with some hamstring strains here and there. But more than anything, the Yankees, as they meet the Texas Rangers here, have a club trying to get its pitching on track. And now the hitting has dropped off as well, 1-1. And that 14-game winning streak the Rangers had, they had great hitting, but they still had pitching problems during that streak.
Yeah, their starters during that streak were they were averaging about 5 innings per outing. And so the bullpen did a good job. Sierra at first base is tied for the club leading steals with 9.
And Taylor steps off. Sierra shortens the lead. Gonzalez on deck.
Talked to an advanced scout who was scouting Texas, and when he saw them through that streak, he said, I just stopped putting things down on paper because no matter what the pitch was, where it was, they hit it hard somewhere. He said it was unbelievable. He said they were unscoutable.
Good shot. The Yankees doing a little guessing. Well, they knew they were going to score runs when the season started. When they got Downing, they didn't know how much he had left, but he got off to such a great start, and 1 through 6. Boy, it really gave them a lot of pop. And they're still, even though they've been struggling recently, hitting .279 to lead the league in hitting. Toss over there, and Sierra is back, so the Yankees keep a close eye on him. The Rangers have 34 steals on the year, and as Tony mentioned, this fellow Sierra, 9 of them. Not going, and Franco checked in time.
That's a darn good call by Matthew Noakes. 2 balls and 1 strike with the threat of Sierra running. He didn't just throw Franco a fastball. You could watch Franco. He's going to unload on this fastball because he figures there's a steal threat. And even though he missed, he threw him a breaking ball. And that's a pretty good call by Matt Noakes. He is not going to get sucked in the trap of throwing fastballs with a base stealer on base.
So the count is 3-1. Into right field. Barfield backing up is there to make the catch, and Franco's out. So are the Rangers in the first. No runs, a walk, and a man left on base. So we're headed into the bottom of the first tonight from Yankee Stadium. The Rangers nothing, and the Yankees are coming in to hit. Well, the Yankee right-hander Wade Taylor on the bench alongside pitching coach Mark Connor got through a scoreless first, and the Yankees are looking at Mark Petkazik, who is making his major league debut. Those are his numbers from Oklahoma City, where he was scheduled to pitch tonight against Columbus.
He's out of the University of Texas, drafted a few years ago, #1 by the Texas Rangers. They say he does not throw hard, but he does throw strikes and keeps the ball down, not overpowering.
The Yankees send this lineup against him. Roberto Kelly, Steve Saxon, Don Mattingly, Kevin Moss, the DH, followed by Hall and Barfield. Noakes will hit 7th, Espinosa, and Pat Kelly in the 9 slot. Ranger defensive setup.
And that is a good one. Gonzalez may turn out to be a center fielder. Pettis, you rank him with Devon White. Diaz has been playing more and more now with Jeff Houston struggling at short. Buchel's having a big year. Petrelli catching. They have 3 catchers on this Ranger team.
So the first pitch. strikes away from Petrale. A ball, no strikes. The count to Roberto Kelly. Petkazik, 25 years old.
You want me to try it now? Mark Petkazik.
Very good.
He's Yugoslavian. Mom's Sicilian. They went right around Ellis Island, went right down to Beaumont, Texas, where they sent him.
And a base hit into right for Roberto Kelly. So Kelly opens the Yankee first with a solid single into right. He had a little arm trouble coming out of college. That slowed his pace a little bit. And the Yankees get their first look at him tonight. Sachs with a look at Buck Showalter before he stepped in.
The way Steve Sachs is swinging the bat, Gino Petrale is not known to be a great thrower. Pitcher who will be a little bit on edge this first start with Kelly's speed. Let's see if Stump starts him rolling. Be a good time, maybe not in the first pitch, but sometime early in the count.
Sachs at 258 and a pitch out on the very first delivery, but nothing doing. Now Petrale, who's been doing well this year, goes out to have a word with Petkazik.
Petrale telling him, hey, look, if you're going to give me a pitch out, don't throw it at my knees. Just throw it nice and easy. Don't overthrow it. Shoulder height. You know, this Rangers ball club, when you look at the pitching staff they were supposed to have coming out of spring training, when Nolan Ryan has been disabled, Scott Champerino, who's had trouble, Kevin Brown, and Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt, they don't know if he'll pitch the remainder of the season. Kevin Brown has had some elbow problems. It was going to be an outstanding starting rotation.
And they really felt that if they got the starting pitching they anticipated, the bullpen stacks up fine, and they would contend. They would be in the middle of things.
It's the 9th starter they've had this year.
Sachs fouls it. It's 1-1. Now things have gone a little better for Sachs as of late. He scored the winning run last night, courtesy of Don Mattingly. Sachs, over the last week and a half, has bumped that average up a little bit.
I'll tell you what, Steve Sachs got a great jump off second base. With 2 outs, you do, but he had a wonderful walking lead and cut the bag against a pretty good arm in Ruben Sierra, and he was close.
Sachs calling time, steps back with a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Steve continues to pull the ball a little more. Hit one over the head of the left fielder Juan Gonzalez yesterday. Misjudged a little bit.
Over to first. Kelly back. Well, it's been, from the Ranger perspective, I guess, a little bit of everything during this stretch. Sometimes they haven't gotten the hitting. Their pitching has been a little suspect. And the defensive work, and we saw that last night, as you mentioned, the play of Gonzalez. Kelly back in.
You know, we really goofed up. We should have called Bobby Mercer. It's for PIX.
Sure.
The scouting report on Mark Petkazik. He owns part of the Oklahoma 89ers.
That's right. That would be as correct as you could get. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Again in there at first base.
He's getting back standing up, so he could probably get another stride lead. Certainly he has seen Petkazik best move by this point.
Petkazik is up here because of that 18-inning game they had against Kansas City before coming in to open this weekend series against the Yankees. There he goes. Now he stops, and the pitch is down. So Kelly had an idea, but stopped.
How many times when you go into that slide step, or you quicken your motion for a pitch out, a good base stealer reads it and just pulls back. Now it's an even better hitters and pitchers count, and a better managers count too. Stump can do a lot of different things with this.
2-1 the count.
He's got to be starting.
And let's see. Petkazik again to first. Leadoff single by Roberto Kelly. Bobby Valentine looking on.
Toby Harrah sitting alongside him.
2-1. There goes Kelly. The pitch is a ball and the throw offline. Kelly didn't get a great jump. But he steals it.
Looked like his wheels were spinning right at the start of it. Looked like he read it well, and then he just couldn't get the legs moving.
That's his 11th stolen base of the year, 11 of 16 for Kelly.
Jay Petrelli upset himself. He thought with the pitch he got, he should have had him, and the ball runs way out. He must not have had a good grip. It was strong, but it ran high and ran way off the bag.
Kelly digging hard, trying to get started and then make up for a little lost time. Gets in there anyway. And now it's a 3-1 count on Sachs. The Yankees with a scoring opportunity in the first. It's a strike. We go to 3-2. Gerald Alexander probably would have gotten his start had he not pitched in that 18-inning game with Kansas City, but he worked 4 1/3 innings in relief in that loss.
Threw 84 pitches, so we probably won't see him today either.
Mattingly is on deck. Sachs the hitter. Kelly at second. And to the right side, out of the reach of Palmeiro. They will stop Kelly at third with Sierra coming up in short right field.
I'll tell you, when things are working right for you, Steve Sachs been hitting the ball so well with so much more confidence. Even 3-2. He wasn't just swinging, he was swinging to hit the right field, and he got the benefit of the base hit also.
With men at first and third, Don Mattingly will be the hitter as Sachs sets up this situation with nobody out. Mattingly gets a nice hand. Don hitting .294 for the year, coming off a good May. 311 in May.
Everybody had a lot of fun with Bobby Valentine's decision yesterday to pitch to Mattingly, although
sure.
Bobby Valentine said it was supposed to be an intentional, unintentional walk.
Well, we've seen how those go.
Oh, yeah.
That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Mattingly. Impressive numbers with men in scoring position. And some good lifetime numbers against Texas pitching. Dives this one into left center field. Gonzalez and Pettis on the move, and it's over the head of Gonzalez all the way to the wall. Kelly scores. Sachs will be stopped at third. It's a double for Mattingly, and the Yankees are out in front in the first. 20th run batted in for Mattingly on his 7th double of the year.
They have talked about Juan Gonzalez, the young left fielder who started at AAA this year, came up near the end of April of being a center fielder with a good outfielder. This ball's hit pretty hard, but I think this ball's got to be caught. Gonzalez kind of surrounded it, ran with his arm out, and really didn't cover a whole lot of ground. It did keep drifting over his head. But I thought he'd catch that ball.
But Kysick will get a visit from Tom House. Well, I think that's the reason Sachs is at third right now. He thought the ball had a good chance to be caught.
You can see Don Mattingly.
He scores.
Don Mattingly out of the batter's box wasn't really running hard like he thought it was going to be caught also. Whether it's the twilight, it really hadn't completely set in yet. The lights are on.
So the Yankees have a run, 2 men in scoring position, and Kevin Moss with a chance to pick up a couple runs batted in. Already some action in the Texas bullpen. Joe Bitker, a right-hander, is starting to throw. The Rangers need some innings, though, out of a starting pitcher.
Oh, do they? Here's the guy that Stump Merrill's got to get going in this 4 spot, with men in scoring position especially. He has not done well.
And Moss takes it down. Ball 1.
I would guess Tommy House, specifically, we look at Joe Bitker, the right-hander, trying to get his pitcher, Kysick, to get the ball downstairs. If he pitches upstairs and he's not overpowering, he's going to have a lot of trouble. This is a tough guy to get the ball downstairs on because he's a low ball hitter. He's been uppercutting more recently.
He comes in with a strike. It's 1-1. Well, the Yankees won last night on Mattingly's ninth inning heroics, and they go out in front on the Mattingly double in the first tonight. A 1-0 contest. That's why Jim Joyce is calling the balls and strikes. The Yankee runners, Sachs at third, Mattingly aboard at second. Roberto Kelly singled, swiped second, and has scored. 2 balls and a strike to count to Moss.
You know, for Mattingly to hit a ball that far to left center field, I think pretty much shows his back's okay, though, too. Opposite field, hit that ball what? Almost 390?
Sure. 3 balls and a strike to count on Moss with Mel Hall on deck. So a tough spot for Bekeising. Moss waiting. Here it is. Ball 4. They load it. They're loaded with nobody out. And Mel Hall becomes the hitter.
Bobby Valentine, who has just recently returned from the trip out west for his good friend and former manager Tommy Lasorda. Tommy Jr. was put to rest, dying at age 33. Valentine said it was such an emotional thing. He said, oh, I just don't know what to say at a time like that.
Well, here's Hall. Well, at 262. He tried to hold up, but that's a strike.
What do you think he was looking for? On that curve.
Nope. Well, 4 of his last 12. He's hit 3 home runs on this homestand. A 12-game stand concluding tomorrow. Ground ball to first, down to second, out there, and back to first safe. Bekeising had to come off the bag. Sachs crosses the plate. The Yankees pick up another run as Mattingly goes to third. Moss is retired at second on a force play, and a run batted in for Hall.
I don't know where Bobby Valentine was, but he sure isn't standing on the top step. It happened yesterday on the ball that Pat Kelly dove in the first where the pitcher didn't get over in time. And here's another pitcher on the run, and Diaz tries to hit him on the run. If he's there quickly standing there, Diaz doesn't have to hit a moving target. It's a double play.
So runners at first and third. 2 runs home, 1 out for Jesse Barfield. Strike 1. Barfield has 31 runs batted in. 11 of those have come in just over a week. An 8-game hitting streak for him.
Mel Hall's got 30 now and about 50 less plate appearances.
High drive back into left. Gonzalez all the way back on the track. It's drifting, and that ball is gone. Home run for Jesse Barfield. Barfield unloads a 3-run shot, and the Yankees have scored 5 in the first. That's his 11th, giving him 34 runs batted in. A towering home run to left that carried out of here.
You had better be a power pitcher to try and pitch up there. Gino Petrelli was sitting on the outside part of the plate, and for a while Jesse wasn't sure, but it was so high, but his extreme strength just pounded it out of here.
Here's Matt Noakes.
Hit that into a little bit of a crosswind, too. Up that high, wind going from the left field foul pole to the right, had to battle through a little bit of a breeze.
A ball, no strikes, the count on Noakes. Well, the word we've gotten on Kaiser that he tries to keep the ball down, and by his numbers in the minor leagues, he'd given up only 2 home runs in just under 66 innings. And it gives you the idea that that's where he lives. But he dies upstairs, and the Yankees have 5 in the first on him. 3-0, the count is behind Noakes. Espinosa is going to be next.
When they activated Petrizek, they disabled Jack Dougherty, the switch hitter who's been battling injuries all year long.
And a strike. 3-1. Bobby Valentine and Tom House adding another pitcher, trying to give the pitching staff a little breather, but a rocky start for the right-hander. A chopper up the middle. Diaz gets there and makes the play. Bounding ball, and Diaz scooting to his left. When he got to it with Noakes going down the line, Diaz had plenty of time. 2 outs, bases empty. Here's Alvaro Espinosa.
Rangers have had 12 on the disabled list already this season.
Into this game having dropped 5 in a row and 8 out of their last 9 after winning a club record 14 straight.
They're just 1 back in the loss column, but 4 back overall. Oakland a game and a half ahead of the Angels.
Espinosa takes the ball.
Fernando Valenzuela now, remember that 4 left-handed starting staff for Doug Rader. Didn't pitch well his first outing.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the way this East stacks up, the Yankees 3.5 back. Just 1 on the loss column to Toronto. A tap foul. It's a ball, 2 strikes. Toronto starting today 29-26, a half game in front of Boston at the start. And then Detroit followed by the Yankees.
Only Baltimore and the Yankees over the last 10 games have had a winning record in the East.
Did he go? He did, says Jim McKeon at first, and that retires the side. But the Yankees have a big first. They score 5 times. The key blow, the 3-run home run by Jesse Barfield, and at the end of an inning tonight from Yankee Stadium, 5-0 Yankees. Yankees lead 5-0 on helmet night at Yankee Stadium on the heels of a victory last night 5-4. So this evening, they have handed the young right-hander, Wade Taylor, a lead and a little breathing room. And he faces Juan Gonzalez to lead off. Gonzalez already being compared to a lot of established major league stars and superstars. Hitting .307, he fouls this one away.
They're talking about his bat speed. He's already got 35 RBIs. Got called up, what, about April 25th or 26th? I don't think Matt Noakes is going to have any difficulty at all keeping Wade Taylor pumped up, even with a 5-0 lead. He does not look like a laid-back type of pitcher, does he?
No.
All you got to do is talk to him. First game he pitched, Mickey Mantle saw him pitch in a telecast, and that looks like one of my boys. Blonde hair, toe head. He's got to be from Oklahoma.
2 balls and a strike to count. Gonzalez, Petrale, and then Buechele. Good pitch right there.
2-1 slider.
2-2. Gonzalez has been in a bit of a slump. Not many extra base hits lately.
Oh, in that 14-game winning streak, the Rangers were averaging over 8 runs a game. Since then, they're averaging a little over 3.
0-2 pitch. Was that a slider, a little cutter maybe?
I don't know if it was a slider or a curveball that started to break and then it backed up. It was a little slower than a slider, I thought.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
It's slider. Slider that Matthew Noakes frames very nicely on the inside corner for Jim Joyce, the home plate umpire.
And Taylor picks up his first strikeout.
That, on that little quick breaking ball like that, might be an indication that Gonzalez doesn't like the ball inside. See how his knees buckle and he started pulling off the ball, and it turned out to be a strike.
Gino Petralli is the hitter. 2-0 the count. Well, Taylor in that sequence made a couple dandy pitches. Petralli's hitting .263. Ground ball. Mattingly is there. So is Taylor. 2 gone. Strikeout on a ground ball.
Aside from the arm strength of Taylor, which is obvious, you look for the little things as far as how he fields his position, how he covers first base. He got over there in a hurry, didn't he?
Yes, he did. There's the breakdown on the Major League debut he made on Sunday.
9 in the air. That
Hitter, nobody after that.
9 in the air might be too many. He can strike guys out and throw upstairs at times. With the big league hitters, he's going to have to use that sinker better.
Steve Buechele, this one low and skipping by Noakes. A ball, no strikes. Buechele having a good year offensively, and of course he's quite a third baseman. Jammed him that time, broke his bat, and it's going to be out of play. Foul, 1-1.
This is Steve Buechele's option year. He can become a free agent next year. There's debate as to whether or not they will re-sign him. They've got a young man named Dean Palmer at AAA level who's got over 20 home runs and over 50 RBIs already. And they keep saying, you think Juan Gonzalez has bat speed? Wait till you see Dean Palmer, a third baseman, although they could make Palmer a left fielder. Move Gonzalez, that's one of their plans, maybe to center field if they re-sign Steve Buechele.
One and two. That's a foul ball. Well, there's some concern about Buechele. He's had a number of injuries. He's healthy now. But they wonder if, especially in that Texas heat, there's a fellow who can give them as many games day in and day out as they would like to get at third. A 2-ball, 2-strike count.
And also teams who are interested in him will be concerned about his hitting ability and his power numbers outside of that ballpark. It's an outstanding hitter's ballpark where it's always hot and the ball flies. But he's a good defensive third baseman. They talked about making him a second baseman at one time.
You get a piece of the off-speed breaking ball to stay alive with a foul ball. Down to third, deep throw. And Kelly
got him on a hand.
Mattingly couldn't hang on to the ball. Kelly with a throw toward the home plate side. Mattingly had to come off the bag. Had him, but couldn't hang on to the ball, and that's going to be a base hit to call. Buechele gets a single out of that.
It looked to me as though when Mattingly tagged him, he tagged him on the hand, and the hand knocked it out. We'll show you why. Pat Kelly perhaps does not have what you'd call a normal third baseman's arm. Ball just strips on him. Runs right back in like a second baseman's throw. Mattingly hit the hand of Buechele, and that's what knocked it out.
So a base hit, and here's Mario Diaz. This one is low, ball one. I don't think there's any question that under normal circumstances you have a fellow playing third with what you would consider the standard arm over there. That's an out.
See, I don't think that can be a base hit. I mean, it's a third baseman. You can't say, well, we're going to give him a hit because he's got a second baseman's arm. If he throws that ball near the bag, he's out by 3 steps. And charitably, it's a base hit.
So the count is a ball and a strike. And as good a job as Kelly will do at third, that's something that you're going to have to live with. That's one of the disadvantages of having him play third base. But the Yankees obviously feel there's so many advantages to having him here. They'll live with that.
Just the amount of ground he covered to get that ball to start with. He was almost in foul territory when he caught it.
2 gone with Buechele aboard on the infield hit.
Why would you want to throw over 5-0, a guy who doesn't run well? And why would you want to hold him on with Diaz if it's that direction?
Tap third base, tough play. They're going to let it roll, and that's going to be a fair ball. Well, what do you know? Fair ball as Kelly had only one chance, and that was to let it roll, and it stopped right on the line.
Lenny Randall here like he did it in the Kingdom in Seattle. Remember, he got down to the Kingdom and blew it foul, literally, and the umpire said, artificial means reused. It's a fair ball, base hit.
So another infield hit, 2 in a row. Buechele at second, Diaz at first, and here's Gary Pettis. Pettis batting .247. Switch hitting center fielder. Late on that one, strike one.
When they were hitting well, you picked up the league batting averages, and Pettis was hitting about .290, Buechele .320. Three guys hitting .340. Yep, at one time they had 6 hitting .320 or above. That's just like a week and a half ago.
That's low. 1-1. There's the breakdown on the 2 streaks, 14-0 on that 14-game winning streak, over 8 runs a game. And look at the hitting dropping 8 out of 9. The lack of hitting, I should say. 2 balls and a strike.
Some pretty good pitchers in there, too, that they were banging around.
That's right. But on this little tailspin they've been in, they have run up against some pretty good pitching. Minnesota, Erickson and Morris over there, and that's at the Seattle staff. Into right field, Barfield will make the pickup 1 hop. Buechele will score. The throw is back into Espinosa. So with 2 outs, a couple infield hits, and then a line single by Pettis, and it's a 5-1 ball game.
From here on down, for the next 5-6 hitters, they get you back in the ball game in a hurry. Downing did it last night off Mike Witt. 0-1 fastball, hitting the left field seats.
Yeah, he snapped an 0 for 21 streak last night in the 3rd with a base hit, and then unloaded his 7th career grand slam in the 5th. And there's a strike, and here's a guy who I guess was just maybe 1 motorcycle ride away from not playing Major League Baseball anymore. He was home. No one had called, and he was about ready to call it a career.
Oh, man, there's that slow curve we talked about. Yeah, Downing is one of those guys who has always kept himself in such great shape. He's a weightlifter. He said he did that to build up his confidence. Very reticent young man. He's not so young now. He's 40 years old. But I think by staying in shape, it really helped him.
This one wide. A ball and 2 strikes. Palmeiro is on deck. All of this with 2 gone. Started on 2 infield hits.
7th, 8th, and 9th place hitters also. They really produced during that 14-game winning streak. The whole lineup had to, but especially 7, 8, and 9.
Downing skies it down the right side. Long run for Barfield, and he got there. Jesse Barfield, a long run to make the catch. Hang a star on that play for Barfield for covering so much ground. 1 run, 3 hits, and 2 left. 5-1 Yankees. On the 50-year anniversary, Toyota presents a look back at Joe DiMaggio's amazing 56-game hitting streak. On this date, June 8th and 41, Joe DiMaggio extended his hitting streak by 2 games as the Yankees swept a doubleheader from the St. Louis Browns at Sportsman's Park in St. Louis. The Yanks hit 7 homers that day, and DiMaggio hit 3. For the day, he had 4 hits, 7 runs batted in. The most productive day of Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak. And here's Pat Kelly taking one low, ball 1.
His home run last night, he broke his bat, he said.
I saw that.
I said, are you kidding? He said, no, really. He said, then I thought maybe I took a bat that was partially broken up there.
A big chop to third. Buechele rid of it, and Kelly is out. Buechele to Palmeiro. One gone in the second.
That's where Tom House wants him to pitch. You can see when it's downstairs, a little sinking action, beat right into home plate.
Well, one thing about it, even though the Yankees got a big lead here, 5 in the first, against this Texas club, whether they're hitting or not, there's always that potential that this club's going to start hitting again, and when it does, a 5-run lead is just not safe. Kelly takes one downstairs, ball 1. Kelly singled to start the Yankee first and scored the initial run. He sends one high and deep to left. Gonzalez back on the track, and he'll have room to make the catch. Barfield hit that towering shot of his and hit it out to left. A 3-run home run. Kelly making a bid, but just short.
For being a little bit fooled, that ball carried a long way. You could hear how solidly he hit on the good part of the bat. Looked like the ball's away from him. A little change up. The follow through was with one hand as he hit through it.
Here's Sachs. Steve had a base hit his first time up. Ball 1. Kutkaisik out of Beaumont, Texas, University of Texas, making his major league debut tonight. And a chopper up the middle, tough play, hit the back of the bag, and Diaz still gloved the ball and made it close at first, but Sachs beats it out. A big bounder, and I wondered for a moment if it was going to come down right on top of the bag, and got just a little piece of it, it appeared, from here.
He hit right on the back point of the bag. Again, a sinker ball down. Diaz over. Didn't have great running speed, or was it right in front of him? Kind of nicked the front of the bag. Whoa. That was close at first base, wasn't it? I thought he might have had him by 6 inches. That's been a trouble spot for this Rangers ball club for a lot of years. Jeff Kunkel on the DL. He was playing there a little bit. He's tried a lot of people there.
Here's Mattingly. Don double homer run his first time up. A ball. 2 outs now. Sachs at first with Mattingly at the plate.
That little finger on the right hand still a little sore when Mattingly does not hit the ball well, or when he's fooled on a pitch. If he's right on, it's okay. If he's a little out in front, or he has to change the direction of the barrel of the bat, it still hurts him.
2-0. Mattingly, a lifetime average of .338 off Texas pitching.
Got to be getting close to 300 now, doesn't he?
He's hitting .298 this time in. Smacks this one back into center, but a lot of room, and Pettis is there to make the catch. The Yankees do not score. They pick up one infield hit and leave that man. We have completed 2 tonight from Yankee Stadium. The score is Yankees 5 and the Rangers 1. World at Yankee Stadium tonight on Helmet Night. The Yankees lead 5-1, and tonight and every night at 11, be sure and catch MSD's Sports Desk 15-minute edition, at the half-hour edition on Sundays right here on MSG Network. Tonight, Lisa Burkhart will have updates on all the baseball action, as well as the French Open and the Belmont. Rafael Palmeiro takes a strike. Here's a man with a great eye up there, a good doubles man, and has home run power. He's behind on the count now, 0-2.
And became a pretty good RBI man when the knock against him in Chicago was he wouldn't drive in runs.
Yep.
You could bet him third on a lot of teams.
A ball and 2 strikes. Hitting second in Bobby Valentine's lineup. He bounces this one foul. He's a little bit out in front. But he has great bat control up there for a guy who can pop the ball occasionally. And even when he's fooled, he managed to get enough contact made to foul the pitch away.
He pulls the ball a little bit more now than he did in Wrigley Field.
2-2 the count.
But heck, Palmeiro in college couldn't even hit as well as Bobby Thigpen.
Yeah, that's right. Neither could Will Clark for one season anyway. This one the opposite way, near the line, and it's a fair ball. Nice carom by Hall out of the corner, but it's a double, the 16th of the year for Palmeiro. And that opens the third inning. You just cannot take anything for granted against this Texas lineup.
And I think all of them hit the ball to all field. Ruben Sierra, not a dead pull hitter. Franco uses the whole field. Teams like this are difficult to position your defense, difficult to find a way to pitch them and play them. And generally, teams that hit the ball all around, or individuals too, they're usually decent breaking ball hitters.
Here's Sierra taking a strike. Sierra walked his first time. You know, we've seen a few earrings in the big leagues pop up here and there. David Wells, who pitched the other night, swing and a miss, and the throw back to second is not in time. They tried to get Palmeiro with the peg back down to second, but Raphael is back in. Here it is.
It's a call play, and you can tell it is because of the way Espinosa was moving before the ball even got to the hitting area. They caught something with Palmeiro the pitch before, taking too liberal a lead.
2 strikes to count to Sierra. And he gets his bat on the ball back into center for a base hit. Palmeiro will score off an 0-2 pitch. Sierra drives in his 38th run of the year, and it's 5-2.
That is a pitch that was out of the strike zone. It would appear to me low and maybe outside. And
Tom House was reaching for it.
Yeah, Tom House was talking, as we look at Mark Connor and Stump Merrill, but Tom House was talking about some of the hitters in the league that will go out of their strike zone to drive in runs. And he mentioned George Brett, and he mentioned this man, and it's down and it's away. And I don't know if that was a sinker or if that was a little off, that of a sinking action with that changeup. He had an outstanding pitch.
Now here's Julio Franco, still nobody out. Ball 1. To follow up that thought about the earring before we were interrupted by the action on the field, Sierra's got a pretty good earring going down there. He's got kind of a square little diamond earring.
Oh, an emerald cut, not with just a round cut.
Oh no,
that's getting fancy.
1 ball, 1 strike. You know, for a while Dave Parker had that little solitaire. And there's the earring.
Those are his initials?
Sierra.
In fact, it's big enough to be his whole name, his middle name and all. And the whole family.
I think that's the biggest change in the game. I don't think the money and arbitration and all of that. I think players wearing earrings is the biggest change we've seen in the game. Forget about AstroTurf and all that other stuff. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Would any of the 61 Yankees have worn an earring?
Well, Pepe wasn't there yet. Joel Pepitone had not yet arrived.
Yep.
He was our trendsetter.
In many ways.
You bet.
1-2 the count to Franco. It's upstairs. 2-2. Juan Gonzalez on deck. Sierra walked in the first, now is at first base here in the third with an RBI single.
So people forget how, because of Sierra is part of the reason, but even when Julio Franco was with the Cleveland Indians, you forget how outstanding a hitter he is. This guy's 298 lifetime in the American League. Played a little bit with Philadelphia, of course. That's where his career began. Had some good RBI years. He's usually around 80 RBIs, high of 92 a couple of seasons ago. And you look at his unique batting style. With Bobby Valentine, they've done a lot of computerized work with Tom House. They said, you know, the way he gets the bat in the hitting area, and Sierra and Gonzalez, not as extreme as Franklin, he said they may be right the way they hit. His Raptor, he's serious. He said, we've done some studies. He said, remember Dick Allen used to wrap his bat around his neck? He said, he wasn't bad. He seemed to generate bat speed and can still get the barrel out.
And a fly ball into center for Kelly. They got him this time. He's the first out in the third. Franco 0 for 2. Sierra back to first. And before Gonzalez steps in, we'll take a look at the Wiz out-of-town scoreboard, where Boston knocked off Oakland big today, 8-1. Toronto with a lead over Baltimore. Kansas City leading Chicago early. And Cleveland and Minnesota scoreless in the bottom of the second.
So that Roger Clemens, I'm assuming, picked up his 8th win of the season. 8-3 now.
Here's Gonzalez taking a ball. 1-0. It'll be interesting to see Gonzalez more. And I thought Davey Lopes, the bench coach for the Rangers, had an interesting comparison of Gonzalez to play. He said he reminds him a lot of Dale Murphy. Over to first, he says he won't steal as many bases as Murphy. He doesn't have great speed, but he thinks his build and his approach, he also feels that the swing might be a little better than Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy's so long where you have those prolonged slumps.
Yep.
There's Davey Lopes.
There's a guy who's going to make a good manager one of these days for somebody, I would have to think. High fly ball deep to left, and Hall's going to watch it sail out all the way back into the bullpen, and Gonzalez has just made it a one-run ball game. Gonzalez hitting his 7th home run of the year, driving in 2 to give him 37 runs batted in. 5-4 now.
You take that back. I'm not so sure you can pitch him up and in. Isn't that where that ball was? Here comes Mark Connor.
A towering home run into the bullpen in left. So Gonzalez, who came in with the 8th best slugging percentage already going in the American League, has just unloaded a 2-run home run.
You know, this is a fairly young team they've got. You always think of Nolan Ryan. He's the leader on the staff, over 40. There it is, up and in. It just kept drifting in, and his bat speed got even,
that bat out there.
His bat speed got quicker as he got that hip out of the way. Wow.
Here's Petrali. Ball 1. No strikes, the count. Up the middle, Espinosa's there. He got him. Dandy play by Espinosa. Once he got there, he had time to get Petrali, but getting there and turning to make a good throw, the challenge on that play. And Espinosa turns in a dandy. So we'll put a little star in the scorebook for that one.
And because Gino Petrelli does lash the ball to the opposite field fairly often, made it a longer run for Espinosa. He was playing him to hit late.
Buechele down to short. Espy's there, and the throw in time. So a couple of ground balls following the home run, but the Rangers score 3 times in the third. 3 hits. Nobody left. Bottom of the third coming tonight with the score. The Rangers 5. The Yankees 5 and the Rangers 4. Bottom of the third from Yankee Stadium. Al Trautwig will be along in the 4th. The Yankee lead, which at one time was 5-0, now only 1, 5-4. And Kevin Moss opens the Yankee third. Moss, Hall, and Barfield. Walked his first time as part of that 5-run first. Petkaiser.
Doesn't look like that.
No, it doesn't, does it? I think the Rangers used 11 starters all of last year. 9 already this year. 2-0 the count. And they're fearful that the bullpen is starting to show signs of this shaky starting pitching, the inability to get many innings from it. Shot to deep right. Sierra back on the track and makes the catch. Moss sending Sierra all the way back to the warning track.
It's a little tailing and sinking action appeared from Petkaiser, and he may have got to the end of the bat. When it first left the bat, it went out in a hurry and just hung up. Sierra keeps talking about wanting to win the Gold Glove. He has worked awfully hard. That's part of it in his defense. Some have also said that Juan Gonzalez up with a reputation of being good defensively. Sierra wants to be better.
Well, Hall, after the first pitch, a popper. Diaz out from short. 2 gone. 2 up, 2 down. Jesse Barfield is going to be the hitter.
He has lost some weight since up in Seattle, and I think it's made him a little bit quicker, and that's one of the reasons why Bobby Valentine is playing more at shortstop recently.
I just can't imagine playing in Texas and not losing any weight.
What do we see about July or August, huh?
Yep.
Nighttime, sometimes you start a game there at 7:30 at night. It's still 105, 106, but it's dry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Barfield takes a strike. Jesse with his 11th home run, his first time up. Throws him another strike.
Was it Tommy Lasorda was saying when Strawberry came out there when he got Eddie Murray? He used the analogy about, he said, my mother, when she used to put that can of milk on the table, condensed milk, used to say on there, I'm content that cows give more milk. He said that, well, that's what Eddie Murray, contented players produce better. And Jesse Barfield is a contented player this year.
Certainly is.
One of the first times, and goes back to last season when Gene Michael took over, that he hadn't been rumored he's going to be traded. I'm not saying he's not going to. It still could happen late this year.
Petkaiser just made a fine pitch right there on 0-2 to get him looking, and that retires the side. 1-2-3 go the Yankees. Al Trautwig will be along now, and at the end of 3, 5-4 Yankees.
Mario Diaz gets set to start things off here, and boy, it's been a tough night for the rookies, and suddenly you don't feel as bad for Mark Petkaiser as you did back in the first inning.
Yankees just like to win them late. That's been their pattern. They need a little more drama than 5-0 early.
1 ball and no strikes. Wade Taylor had a 5-0 lead, and suddenly it's 5-4. Both rookie pitchers victimized with the long ball.
Well, it's what... Excuse me, I'll go ahead.
No, please, Tony.
I just started to say that it's something Mark Connors, after critiquing Wade Taylor's last outing, that he would like to see him start pitching more than just trying to throw.
And a big swing, 2-2. Mark Connors, center screen, has to be very satisfied with almost everything that's been going on over the last 2.5 weeks. Every number you seem to look at is positive. Ground ball up the middle. Espy, more range to his left. In time, 1 away. It's been a good night at short for Alvaro Espinoza.
He has a tremendous facility to take a beeline. So many shortstops surround balls. They start in and then they have to backtrack. And he has a sense after the first time that ball bounds on the ground off the bat, knowing exactly how to get to that spot. He just never wastes any ground, which is very important because he's not a fast runner, as we all know.
That's 3 straight putouts for Espinoza. Over to Mattingly, and 1 out now for the Yankees and Wade Taylor in the top of the 4th. Bottom of the order, Gary Pettis, a single and an RBI back in the 1-run second inning, and then the 3-run third on the Juan Gonzalez home run. And speaking of Juan Gonzalez, Tony, you know, this was a Ranger team a couple of years ago. Their outfield looked something like the 62 Mets. A lot of errors. They bring in Gary Pettis. They hope to shore that up. And in the last couple of days, they have to be a little scared at what they see from Juan Gonzalez. Last night, he lets the winning run, or what turned out to be the winning run, fly over his head off the bat of Steve Sachs. And then earlier in this game, a fly ball that he should have caught.
I think he's probably a natural center fielder. That's his natural position. And in left field, you get some balls that slice. They hook on you. That's not an excuse for him, but sometimes there is an adjustment period. Same as a Pat Kelly from second to third base, or Sachs from second to third after playing all those years.
What makes it tougher for Gonzalez is that he's right next to Gary Pettis, who breaks his bat and fouls it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Am I wrong, or are there more bats breaking lately?
To give you an example, I talked to Frank Howard behind the batting cage. Hensley Mullins now has gone to a 31-ounce bat. Now, here's a guy in the minor leagues in his good years was using 33-ounce bats. To get him this light, and some are down to 29, 30 ounces, figure getting more bat speed. To get them that light, you can only do one thing. To get the same barrel, the same handle, you've got to dry moisture out of them. And when you dry moisture out of them to make them lighter, whether it's an ounce or 2, you end up getting balsa wood.
Now, in the Yankee clubhouse, one of the things that they have set up on a big garbage can filled with cement is a big beef bone. It's been rubbed over with the bat. What do they rub the bats on that big bone for?
They rub the barrel into it and keep honing it on that, or they call it boning the barrel, to make it harder. I don't see a whole lot of guys using it anymore, though.
Oh, I haven't seen much activity around the bone lately either. 2-2 to Pettis with 1 out. Six hits for the Rangers, 5 for the Yankees. Got him. Wade Taylor strikes out Gary Pettis. That's his second strikeout in the game.
Oh, I thought that was a changeup coming and looking like a balloon ball, but it was behind the umpire. Wade Taylor's throwing harder than that.
Well, the nobody beats the whiz scoreboard. In the National League, Mets lead Houston in the Dome 2-0 top 3. Chicago beat the Dodgers today 4-3. And a strike, says home plate umpire Jim Joyce.
Not a whole lot of rest in this lineup, is there? You would think there'd be some rest from the 7th place hitter down, but they got 3 base hits the first time up.
Fair ball off the hot bat of Brian Downing. Now, it wasn't hot until yesterday. He was 0 for 21. Then he hit a single and the big grand slam. And now, was there fan interference?
Yeah.
Fan interference, and so he is awarded second base.
It's not automatic. Nobody's arguing, but they're going to come down and the natural instincts to reach over and touch that baseball. They do not have to give him second base. But down to that corner, Mel Hall wouldn't have been able to do anything.
At the plate is Rafael Palmeiro. Consistently over 300 with the Texas Rangers. Some say he fades when the Texas heat builds up in July and August. But right now his average at .316. He's got a double and a run scored. 1 for 2.
He's a pretty good first baseman also. And defensively, he's not Mattingly, but he's starting .363. Charges bunts well. But the Cubs had a guy named Mark Grace.
Strike, 1-1. Now, Tony, you look down the recent performances by the Rangers, and I know you and Dwayne have been talking a lot about pitching, hitting, slumps. Every guy on the team, 1 for his last 21, 2 for his last 14. Palmeiro involved in that as well. And yet you talk to Bobby Valentine, you'd think he'd be a little crazy at how the game has thrown him another twist, and he doesn't want to look back. Just tell me about tonight's game. Tell me about tomorrow's game. That's all he wants to talk about.
He doesn't want to talk about last night's, I guarantee you that.
No. 2-1, 2 out. Runner at second. Across the belly, 3-1.
The restaurateur. He's got a few in Arlington near the stadium. He's got some in Connecticut. One of the bright young prospects in the Dodger organization until he tore his ankle up.
Are we still on the Armed Forces Radio and Television Network, by the way?
No, it was only when Dwayne was here. As soon as you came, there was a request came down from the Pentagon, said, well, would you cut the cables now?
I hate when that happens. Full count, 3-2.
I'm certain we are.
Well, I'm sure all those listening in points around the world, wherever they may be, would love to know that all the soldiers, sailors, Coast Guardsmen, Marine, Air Force flyers are all being well taken care of in New York City this weekend. Budweiser's been letting it flow on the Hudson River by the USS Intrepid. 3-2 pitch, and Palmero skies one to Roberto Kelly. He gallops in, and that'll do it for the Texas Rangers in the top of the 4th. The Yankees lead is still 1. It's been a game of big innings. Back to the stadium in a moment. At the end of the last inning, Wade Taylor followed Gene Monahan, Yankee trainer, to the corner of the dugout. It looked as though they were paying attention to his left hand. What they were doing, I have no idea, and off they went to the clubhouse to check something out. It shouldn't affect his throwing if it's his left hand. He's back. Wade Taylor looks fine. He's on the right side of a 5-4 score when the bottom of the 4th inning, and Matt Noakes starts it off for the Yankees against Mark Pekazik in his major league debut. Matt Noakes, foul ball.
John, I hope he's not still in there when I have to do play-by-play.
Who?
Mark.
You have such an easy time with his name. It rolls off.
Remember when I was with Kurt Gowdy, who, in my mind, in his prime, one of the greatest broadcasters of all time. I think everybody would agree, and he could not say Babakwa. It came out every which way until finally the last 5 innings we were doing the San Diego Padres game. He said, and Kurt's up again to count on Kurt.
The B-man.
2-1. Everything but Babakwa.
How did he say it?
Every which way. Bakavwa, I mean, you name it. And Kurt just, for some reason, had a mental block. That's what I feel about Petrovic.
No, that's not right. Now you've got me. I've got to look down. Pekazik.
We're close. With this Rangers offense, the Yankees perhaps attack up some runs. It looked like Wade Taylor had outstanding stuff coming out, and then he got shocked.
It happened back in the 3rd inning for Wade Taylor. The 3-run outburst by the Rangers. It happened back in the 1st for Mark Pekazik. And you really felt bad for him. I mean, you never like to see a guy get pasted like he was in the 1st inning. Major league debut, age of 26. Fly ball high into the Bronx night. Is it deep enough? It is. Matt Noakes, 0 for his last 8, has found the range, and the Yankees lead it 6-4. Number 8 for the Yankee catcher.
When you pitch down to a low ball hitter like Matthew Noakes, you better be down with a hard sinker or down out of the strike zone. This is right near the bottom part of the old patella.
Where?
With Kizek to near his patella.
You took the words right out of my mouth. We have seen some high fly balls at the stadium tonight. Jesse Barfield was probably above the lights. It went out, and I'm not sure Matt Noakes didn't go above the lights either here at the stadium. So the leadoff home run gives the Yankees a 2-run cushion, and Alvaro Espinoza, who struck out his first time up, is now no balls and 1 strike.
See Kevin Moss picking his brain. What was it? Where was it? How much did it sink? Good hitters do that, or studious hitters like Kevin anyway. And they want to know every piece of movement so they can put it in their computer-like minds.
Well, Kevin was relieved to have a double last night, but he's been pressing, looking at videotapes. And after the hot start, Alvaro Espinoza has seen his average fall now to 252.
I'll tell you, Stump Merrill, just talking about Kevin Moss one more time, he has really stuck with him in that 4 spot.
Amazingly so. And he has stuck with many things. He has stuck with the platoon strategy. He has stuck with Kevin Moss.
Thomas from the White Sox and another rookie, they moved him out of the 4 slot.
Rough looking at bat for Espinoza. And he's 0 for 2. 3rd strikeout for Mark Pekazik. He was supposed to be the pitcher of the future 2 seasons ago. Then he stumbled at Oklahoma City. led the league with hits allowed, losses at 14. Suddenly the Rangers weren't sure how this former Longhorn, the #1 pick, was going to go, and now here he is. He's brought up with a 4-2 mark, and things are looking up for him again.
Well, it's not unusual for a pitcher coming out of the University of Texas to struggle when he signs a pro contract. Some have felt that Cliff Gustafson, the coach down there, and Roger Clemens debunks this completely. Swindell may agree with it, though, that they're pitched so hard leading into the World Series, etc., that their arms are taxed too much, and it takes them a year to recover. See, LSU won the
That's right.
College World Series today. Beat
Tigers.
the Shockers, Wichita State. Yankees, I think, have a draft choice on that Louisiana State University team.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Pat Kelly. That one fell off the table. 2-2. Kelly last night hit his first major league home run. He said it was 319 feet.
Just thinking he had a good bat, though. It wasn't broken.
He has become, in his short time with the Yankees, a very popular player. He has mixed in already with the veterans and who's having a catch, who's joking with who before the game.
When the guy plays this hard, you're not going to stay unpopular ever.
The 3-2 pitch lined right at Steve Buechele. 2 away.
They keep trying to throw the ball inside to Kelly. But if it's inside with not extreme velocity, he has a pretty quick bat in there.
That'll bring up Roberto Kelly, who singled, stole a base, and later scored back in the first. He flied out his second time up, his average at .262.
So once again, you're not going west with us. I mean, Minnesota, yeah, I guess that's west of the Mississippi, Minneapolis. So,
well,
I mean, if there was a team in St. Paul, would you go?
Well, since I ran around the bases last year, I'm not allowed in the Metrodome, so that's why I'm not.
No, but that doesn't include Oakland, Seattle.
Well, that's your fault. You're the one who.
You didn't come out there.
You're the one who got me off the West Coast trips.
I don't have that much power.
You do. You know, one little complaint to management, and boom, I was gone.
Well, you get too much ink, and we don't like that.
I've got a letter writing program with congressmen involved and so forth, trying to change it. I have a gift for you, by the way, to take on the road trip, and I'll give it to you at the end of this inning. 1-1 pitch to Roberto.
You know, my wristwatch broke, so that'd be nice. Thanks. One of your monogram ties.
Nope, better than that.
Personal memento.
Better than that. Outside. Tony, so that I can be with you always on the road trip. Here it is.
Oh,
think of me.
This is great.
Tony, would you stop? I went to great expense to get this gift.
Great. You look so good with a Fu Manchu.
That's how he treated the watch I gave him last year, too. Roberto Kelly walks. You ruined it.
You can't even see it. I was looking for my red magic marker. Oh, it was a bland yellow.
Looks like I really am not in any form going on the road trip. The stadium comes to life with 2 outs, and Steve Sachs, one of the 9th inning heroes last night. He launched one over Juan Gonzalez. Looked like it might be going out. It fell in for a double, and then Mattingly followed it up with a 2-out RBI single.
And with 2 outs, Roberto Kelly should be on the move as quickly as he can. He has had a chance to read, but Kizek, his first time on, as soon as he thinks he can make it, he ought to go with 2 outs so he doesn't put Sachs in the hole.
Suddenly things are happening for Steve Sachs in the batter's box. 2 singles, one of them the infield variety. But Kizek kept Kelly very close back in the first inning when Roberto led off the game with a single. Kelly stays and Sachs watches a strike.
Well, John Barfield pitched 4 innings yesterday. Kenny Rogers has been a starter, so that's Mike Jeffco. The bullpen's been used hard. It goes back a couple of days ago in that 18-inning ball game.
See the man on the right side of your screen? That's Orlando Gomez. He may be one of the more enriching stories in baseball this year. He has been in baseball for 28 years. In all levels as Kelly gets back. 28 years. Never saw a major league game. He was all set to go back to Gastonia, North Carolina this year and work yet another year in minor minor league baseball until Bobby Valentine came along and said, you know what, I'd like you to be my bullpen coach. And he almost is brought to tears when all you say is, tell me what it was like to finally see an opening day.
That's great to have those kind of loyalty. Remember Billy Williams, not the Billy Williams from the Cubs, who was with Cleveland, same way, almost 30 years in the minor leagues.
Orlando Gomez will tell his story on a soon-to-be-seen Ed Randall's Talking Baseball right here on MSG. No balls and a strike to Steve Sachs. Runner goes. Sachs rocks it to left field. Kelly thinks about heading to third and now makes his move. Gonzalez scoops it up, but it will be too late. And again, the Yankees make it happen with 2 outs. And it has been a quirky thing for Don Mattingly. It's almost uncanny how many times he has been brought to the plate with 2 outs and something happening on the field for the Yankees in the past, I don't know, month or so.
Well, it goes hand to hand, especially the last couple of weeks with Steve Sachs, the number 2 hitter's average, going up about 40 points. And when Sachs keeps things going, here are the results.
Mattingly doubled, and it was a long double to the opposite field. He flied out, and it was a long fly ball to right center. The rookie to the veteran. And it's a strike to the captain. Don Mattingly's 105th game at first base tonight. 1005th.
Look out. It's a normal pitching pattern to a Mattingly if you have a pitcher who knows what he's doing or a catcher that does. In Yankee Stadium, if you're going to go inside off the plate, and then you better go right outside and make him hit to the big part of the ballpark. He is just too quick inside to mess in this ballpark with him.
Tony, last night, Bobby Valentine went for the intentional walk, and Mattingly made him pay. Now he pitches to him, and he flies out to center field. So Don Mattingly winds up flying out to end this half inning. The Yankees do get a run. The leadoff stroke by Matt Noakes, his 8th home run of the season. And he's saying, here's Kevin. Kevin, here's how we're doing it. That's right. Back to the Bronx in just a moment on MSG. At the stadium. Take a look at the TV schedule. Yankees-Rangers tomorrow on WPIX. They'll be with you for the first game from the Metrodome. Then Dwayne Statz, Tony Kubek, and Bob Page filling in for yours truly. We'll be back with you on MSG Wednesday night from indoors in Minneapolis. Wade Taylor starts things off now with Ruben Sierra at the plate. Sierra has walked, singled, drove in a run.
Still rearranging this Yankee pitching staff, aren't they?
They may never be done.
Tim Larry is pitching tomorrow. It would be Scott Sanderson's normal day, but Scott Sanderson will pitch on Tuesday in Minnesota. Dave Eiler will pitch in the exhibition game against Columbus to see if his foot is okay on Monday. Chuck Carey is now in the bullpen and not happy about it.
He said he had, in his mind, found a pretty good rhythm over his past 3 starts.
Change up.
Tony, it was almost humorous to see Ruben Sierra at the plate last time up 338 with the quote about being in a slump. The two things almost didn't seem to jive. But that's the kind of year he's had. 38 RBIs. And a much improved defensive player, something he dedicated himself to before the season started. At least Bobby Valentine has liked what he's seen. Mattingly has picked it up, steps on the bag, 1 out.
How about that 2 changeups in that series to Sierra? And that one he took and leave him all. It's an old pitching coach axiom. Pitch fast, change speeds, and keep the ball down. That's what Chuck Carey wasn't doing.
Chuck is 1-6 with a 5.85 ERA. And I don't know. How good the rhythm was is up for some debate.
No question they're trying to move him. What value does he have? I guess. But you look at Milwaukee and you look at the Giants and you look at the Cubs starting rotation. Now you can go on and on. There is a desperation for starting pitchers. And on some of these teams, you still think they have a chance to win within their division.
1 ball and no strikes to Julio Franco. The Rangers have come to expect a .300 batting average from him in each and every season. Last night, you may have seen Pascual Perez mimicking his stance, which is one of the more unique ones you'll see.
He hits only with his right hand. He is only his thumb and the pointing finger on the knob of the bat. I've seen guys who have one finger off. A lot of power hitters do that.
I really want, how does he get the bat around? He's starting so far forward with the weight on the bat. The wrists are actually switched in the direction that they have to be to make contact with the ball. And yet he gets through with great success.
You know, the thing is, once he starts his swing, that's the difficult thing. How does he stop it? Because he's got so far to come around, wrapped around his neck. But he's a weightlifter. I mean, he pumps a lot of iron and does it all year long over this last few years, especially down in the Dominican Republic. You just look at the arms and shoulders on him. But his bottom hand, he's only got the pointing finger and the thumb grabbing that part of the bat. I've never seen anything that extreme.
2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Right down Main Street with some speedy stuff and fouled off. Count holds. Tony, when you think about lifting weights and you think about hitting the ball for power, do you think that there's a chance that Kevin Moss is doing too much weight work?
I don't know. I think he's done it for several years, and nobody complained when he had the home run tear late last season when he was called up. I think the mechanics of his swing are really messed up. He's uppercutting more than he did anytime last or early this season. Maybe the right field fence got to him. He thinks I better start hitting more home runs and pulling the ball more.
Ground ball, and Espinosa plays the strange hop perfectly in time to Mattingly. 2 away.
You play on those rough infields all winter long and growing up as a kid, like they do in the Dominican or they do in Venezuela. Espinosa, you're going to see more bad hops and react to. That's an outstanding play. Made it look easy.
Up near his eyeballs when he probably originally thought it was going to be around chest high. 4th successful chance for Espinosa in the game, and Juan Gonzalez takes one inside at the belt buckle. Gonzalez, we should note at this point in the game, hit a long home run last time up, a 2-run shot that brought the Rangers within 1 run.
Well, the Rangers have already been involved in a pretty vicious fight. Remember Dave Valley from Seattle, after 3 Mariners got hit, he charged right into the dugout or close to it, and after Bobby Valentine, the manager.
Well, what team hasn't been in a fight this year? It seems as though there have been many. Gonzalez sends one out to Jesse Barfield. He made one just like this before, but that ball is much too far in front of him. And it bounces into the stands. It will be a double for Juan Gonzalez, who struck out, homered, and now has a 2-base hit. You worry an awful lot less about him playing the outfield when he can hit balls like this to the outfield.
You know, going back to when Jesse made a good catch in the 2nd inning with 2 men on, he made an outstanding catch near the line, a little bit deeper on Brian Downing, which could have caused Wade Taylor a lot more problems.
Gino Petralli at the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Petralli's been around baseball since 1978, but this is only his 7th major league season if you add up all the time he has spent in all the different spots.
He tried everything.
Seems to be a spot for a good, solid veteran catcher.
Well, people will recall just a few years ago, he was driving a soft drink truck, and he was out of work, out of business. Not quite like Brian Downing, but close. They gave him a call. Their catchers went down. He had been a switch hitter. He tried 3rd base. Now he only hits left-handed.
These are good times to see how Wade Taylor handles the pressure of runners on base, runners in scoring position, game on the line. Of course, the Yankees wish the 5-0 lead hadn't evaporated, but there is something to learn on the young pitcher's ability to play in situations like this. Jesse Barfield's got to run, and got to run far, and pulling it in. Second good grab by Jesse Barfield in the Yankee outfield tonight. The lead holds. This one was about 6 feet short of being out of here. Back back to the Bronx in a moment. A standing O for Barfield's defensive play. In the Yankee dugout, Wade Taylor, after 5 innings, surrendering 8, 4 runs. What do you think? Is that it for him?
I don't know. Eric Plum continues to throw and throw a little bit harder. Wade Taylor does not have the wrap around his right elbow. You know, it's Stubbs decided. He has been pushed pretty hard in this ball game again.
Well, Wade Taylor's a good-looking guy. Hensley Mulin's a good-looking guy. Kevin Moss. You wonder whether they're growing more than hitters and pitchers down in Columbus. They're all good-looking guys.
Some hidden meaning behind all this?
Nothing hidden, Tony. Just put it out there.
We'll try and find a couple ugly guys so we can get on them a little bit now. I don't know what.
Oh, there's probably a couple you could pick on. This is not one of them. We'll see if what Matt Noakes passed along to Kevin Moss in the Yankee dugout after he hit a home run plays a role here. I mean, if you look at Kevin Moss, Tony, we talked about it last inning. I mean, his upper body is just enormously developed. Very, very tight, muscular. And while you can't see it, I mean, he doesn't have a Schwarzenegger kind of look. If he took his shirt off and said, "We want to pump you up," you could almost see it.
The debate is on, and the jury's out on those debates. Which weight programs are good, which are bad, and they're genetically. Dr. Gary Weil, he was Mr. Arizona years ago, and he's the guy who does all the stretching and handles the exercise program. He monitors them pretty closely, but some guys will go do it on their own, and genetically there are some guys get muscle bound, get tied up. Some who can lift all they want, and they get stronger and stay flexible. There are so many programs around.
Ground ball. Backing up is Palmeiro, and there are 2 outs.
I think more with Kevin.
Sorry, 1 away.
I think more with Kevin. It's just the fact that he hasn't been hitting with mid and scoring position, and it's affected his swing on the ways. Trying to get the ball in the air more, maybe trying to pull the ball too much. It's no secret that his biggest asset is the slight uppercut and pulling the ball in the right field seats.
I just mentioned it because he's the kind of guy, if he struggles, he's going to work harder. He's going to lift more. He's going to push. He's going to look at more videotapes. He's going to take more batting practice. And you just wonder. In the batter's box now is Mel Hall, fielder's choice, with a run knocked in. He later scored in the first and lined out to short. Up around the chin, ball 1.
You might remember Juan Gonzalez. They threw it down at the belt and moved him off the plate after his home run. So, little one relatively close to Mel Hall. Hitters get to expect that, being moved off the plate.
Outside, 2-0. There's a balloon thing, I guess, going on here tonight at the stadium.
I thought it was helmet night. I didn't know it was balloon day.
It's an added promotion. The fans are getting more than they bargained for. Mel Hall sends one high in the air. Petralli will just watch it go into the screen.
The way this game started, did you think, Mark, that Kajzik would be still out there?
No, as a matter of fact, I was just going to ask you what the difference might be in the obvious fact that he's settled down.
I think he's got the ball down in the strike zone. Dwayne and I were talking about the pitches they were hitting. We're up in the strike zone, hitting them hard. He's gotten down to the strike zone. He's changed speeds. Used his curveball a little bit better, changed speeds on it, used a straight change.
Well, say what you want about how many pitches the pitchers at the University of Texas throw. I don't remember too many pitchers who came out of the school who weren't tough.
You start with Bert Hoot.
Greg Swindell.
Oh, yeah. There have been some good ones. Jim Acker. There's a lot of guys come back from some elbow surgery.
Mel sends it high. This is an upper deck shot. Wow. We'll never know how far it would have gone, but it was flying out of here. 7-4.
was a legitimate RBI. The first one he got in this game in the first, the Rangers did not complete a double play because the pitcher didn't get it over in time. He got an RBI in that. This baby here goes 4 rows deep into the upper deck. Down and in. No pitch is more leverageable for any hitter than that. You can really get out in front. That's the danger area where they tell most pitchers, to most hitters, stay away from down and in unless it's going to be down and in bad.
Mel's had a good homestand. 7 for now 8 for 30. Just when you thought he might be cooling off a touch, he brings the dugout to its feet. Pascual Perez was doing some sort of dance in the dugout in saluting that one. Here's Jesse Barfield, who homered earlier for the Yankees, and it was a 3-run home run that hit the screen above the retired numbers next to Monument Park in left. 7-4 Yankees in the bottom of the 5th. The Yankees riding the wave. Hear the echoing noise from the huge group of fans that has become sort of a nightly tradition now at the stadium in the right field bleachers. They are noisy, they are enthusiastic, and they are loyal. This huge section here has been filled now for almost all of the Yankee home games this season. That's not something I remember from last year. Barfield sends one deep. He could have 2. No. Juan Gonzalez pulls it in. That looked like it was hit harder than the one that went out back in the first.
Well, Mark McIsaac's about at the end of his line as Gonzalez makes a nice catch. A great jump this time. He's misjudged a couple of balls, one yesterday, one today. This hit a lot harder. He had a good start after it. And Bobby Valentine still trying to conserve that bullpen. He's going along with McIsaac a little bit longer than he normally would with a rookie.
Long balls all over the place, and here's a man who knocked one back in the 4th to lead off the inning, his 8th of the year, Matt Noakes. That's one of those get out of the way line drives into the stands. Good night for that gang to be wearing their helmets. You see anything different in the way Matt Noakes plays behind the plate with Wade Taylor on the mound? I mean, is there anything that would cause Wade Taylor to have to adjust to a Matt Noakes instead of a Bob Guerin?
I don't think so. I think generally the scouting reports say the same thing. Although some catchers do like to call breaking balls more than they do fastballs. There are varying variables in guys catching, the way they call games and series of pitches. And sometimes in critical situations, the managers still call all the pitches. For Lance Parrish, Sparky Anderson did it for a long time.
I was reading something interesting this week about tendencies of certain catchers to call pitches that they can't hit more frequently.
Usually it's a breaking ball, isn't it? you got to go with what a pitcher's got.
2-1 with 2 out, a run in the inning. Yankees lead by 3, 7-4.
And of course, we heard the grumblings coming out of spring training from the veterans that a rookie, they wouldn't say a word about it to anybody. They're happy to be here.
This should go into the crowd. It does.
I think there are certain areas that Matt Noakes is better than Guerin and vice versa. Guerin's got a stronger arm. Noakes may have a little quicker release. Noakes, I think, blocks pitches better than Bob Guerin. I think Guerin sets up behind the plate and doesn't over-exaggerate in his setup position.
You know, it's interesting. I would love to have heard this exact comment from you, but reflecting the times a season ago, you wouldn't be saying, I think, the things that you've just said about Matt Noakes a year ago. Talked about it a lot, but it's so predominant.
Well, the Tigers gave up on him as a catcher after he caught several years back 100 games for a division winner.
folks in the luxury boxes mishandled the foul ball with the fishnet, and they were rightly booed. Oh, they're just kids. I was picking it on kids. Sorry. 2-2 to Noakes. A line shot down the line.
Don't try it on him.
Sierra is over, and the Yankees respect the arm. Well, Bobby Valentine was saying that last night's winning run in the ninth never would have scored if the infield grass at Yankee Stadium wasn't that high. An awful lot of people thinking about that arm of Ruben Sierra, and Matt Noakes is on with a single. Does the grass here look high to you, Tony?
I don't think it's not any higher than Tiger Stadium, where they've always got it high. And of course, Bobby Valentine's team is used to playing in the scorched earth of Arlington Stadium.
Looks like normal grass to me. Alvaro Espinosa has struck out twice. Line shot over the head of Mario Diaz. And once again, the Yankees try to get something going with 2 away.
It's got to be the end of Mark Petkaiser.
I knew you could say it. The Yankees have 10 hits of this 26-year-old in his major league debut.
Bobby Valentine's got to be figuring, hey, look, I've had my bullpen up since the first inning when Bittker was up then, and as long as he's thrown at least 3 of the first 5 innings in the pen, I might as well have him come out to the mound.
Well, to look for encouraging signs, the Rangers are going to want to look at what Petkaiser did in the second and the third. Not necessarily some of the pitches he threw in the 4th and 5th.
Joe Bittker.
So Joe Bittker comes out of the bullpen here at Yankee Stadium in the bottom of the 5th inning with a run in and 2 runners on with 2 outs. It is 7-4 Yankees, and the call tonight in his major league debut, Mark Petkaiser has been pulled from the game here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees leading 7-4. Joe Bittker, bouncing around the minor leagues since 1984, called up on May 26th for the Texas Rangers, trying to get some answers out of their bullpen. He has appeared, and now this is 6th game. His ERA over 5.
Last time he pitched was in that 18-inning game. He faced 3 batters, and he walked all 3 at Kansas City.
He's a Californian, 27 years old. Got some age on their pitchers that they're bringing up from the minor leagues, Tony.
Well, they're kind of makeshift with all the people on the disabled list. Asked for a scouting report on Joe Bittker, and they said, if it looks like a curveball, it's a split-fingered fastball. If it looks like a changeup, it's a split-fingered fastball. So what are you telling me? They said every pitch he throws is a split-fingered fastball.
So I guess Pat Kelly should expect the split-fingered fastball.
I'm a little harder than the other.
Kelly coming off the 3-hit night last night. 2 runners on, 2 outs.
There it was. He will step in the hole with his left foot, the previous pitcher, and loses his footing.
1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
After you see a few pitches from a guy like this, you learn very quickly you want to try and hit him the opposite way so you can wait a little bit longer and try and avoid hitting that ground ball to the left side of the infield. Hit him straight away or the opposite field. Easier said than done if he's got the good location of movement.
Kelly pops it up. Looks as though it'll scoot up onto the screen, and it does.
So you have to get a complete game, don't you, for last one before you head on vacation? I mean, like if this does go till, you know,
I mean, if this
4-hour game, you still have to wait. Or no, I mean, you've got to wait around.
Well, sure, I've got that post-game report that you always stay to watch. I've got to do that.
I do all the time.
Pat Kelly sends one into the air. It looked like it came off the bat quicker than it did, and it's pulled in out there by Juan Gonzalez. And And that'll do it for the Yankees in the 5th. But they do get a run on the home run by Mel Hall, and it went way up into the upper deck. They lead at 7-4. I'll see you on the post-game report. Dwayne Stack will rejoin Tony Kubek. 7-4 at the stadium. Here's Lisa Burkhart at the sports desk.
On the Houston Astros tonight, the Mets trying to win their 2nd in a row against the Stros are in front 2-1 in the top of the 5th inning. Top of the 1st, Mets already in front 2-0 with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Rookie Darryl Kyle delivers to Kevin Elster. Elster rips one. Ken Caminetti comes up with it and guns to first, where rookie Jeff Bagwell makes the nice scoop to nip Elster at first, avoiding further trouble. 2-0 Mets. That's where we stand. Preakness winner Hansel took the Belmont Stakes this afternoon, running the 1.5 miles in 2 minutes 28 seconds, the fastest time for the Belmont since 1978. It was also the closest since 1978 when affirmed Edge Aladar strikes the gold. Aladar's son finished 2nd after running dead last with just over a half mile left. Maine Minister ended up 3rd. And we'll be back with more right after this. Seeded and defending champion Monica Seles won the French Open today, defeating 5th-seeded Arantxa Sanchez in straight sets. It was Seles' 2nd consecutive Grand Slam title. And Hale Irwin leads the Buick Classic up in Harrison. He is at 10 under par. Now, back to the Yankees.
All right, thanks, Lisa. And we want to remind you, Lisa, this copyrighted telecast is authorized under rights granted by the New York Yankees solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Yankees and Madison Square Garden Network is prohibited. Rejoined by Dwayne Stats, where Eric Plunk comes out to try and help save Wade Taylor's 2nd Major League win.
Plunk continues to pitch well. Worked Wednesday, 1 hitless inning against Toronto, and in his last 6 outings, the earned run average has been less than 1. It was fairly high when he started that stretch. He still has a little ways to go with it, but he's pitched well.
Fastball strike to Steve Bouchel, who will be followed by Mario Diaz, and then the 9th place hitter Gary Pettis. 17th outing of the season for Eric Plunk, and over his last about half dozen has been outstanding. A slider, 2 strikes,
and he's been able to throw pitches just like that. With a 0.66 ERA, he's just under 14 innings, covering 6 appearances.
Breaking ball, got him. 1, 2, 3. Sit down, Steve Bouchel.
Boy, he's been in that groove every time they call upon him from the bullpen.
They can't sit on his fastball, can they?
Nope. And here's that pitch. Slider, a little break on that.
We throw him a fastball for a strike, a slider for a strike, and a curveball for a strike. Next time up, Steve Bouchel may see his forkball. Fouled out of play by Mario Diaz, who is single and grounded out. The Yankees came up with 5 runs on 4 base hits in the 1st. Jesse Barfield, a 3-run home run. The Rangers came up with a run in the 2nd inning on 3 base hits. Then they scored 3 in the 3rd on a 3-run home run by Juan Gonzalez. Yankees, a home run in the 4th by Noakes, a home run in the 5th by Hall, and that's where we stand, 7-4. 2 balls and a strike to Diaz. Two and two.
He's been able to locate the ball, not only throw the breaking stuff, but he's changed speeds a little bit with it, and his location has been great with every pitch he throws.
You know, I have a hunch, not just Mark Connor, but I think Steve Farr has a lot to do with Eric Plunk's success. Extremely professional in the bullpen and shares a lot of thoughts. Fastball fouled out of play. And I think it's the kind of, to use almost a corny word, the kind of chemistry that is set in with this team at this point. You know, Steve Howe, the way he's come out and has thrown the ball so hard, has kind of urged Catteray and Guterman to push themselves. Farr and Havian set great examples for Eric Plunk. Fouled out of play again. Or is it? Nope. Jesse Barfield near the foul line. He's got it. He was playing Diaz perfectly. Hardly had to move.
Tony, they have worked with Plunk over and over, but the real key, I guess, this time has been trying to keep him as compact as possible. He works from the stretch all the time, and he has, to a degree, shortened the delivery of each pitch a little bit. They've got the front leg kick, that left leg not as pronounced as it was.
Well, what he's doing is fitting right in with the astounding numbers this Yankee bullpen has put on the board over the last 12.5 games. They've been all but untouchable.
And they've had to be, because even though the Yankees have had a winning homestand at this point, the starting pitching, the numbers still aren't that impressive. But the bullpen is another story.
Well, on this homestand, the starters have been 3 wins, 4 losses, with an ERA of 5.40.
There you are.
Bullpen now in 49 of 51 games. They're averaging just under 4 innings per ball game. Pettis with a little cut fastball, 2-1 with 2 down. In the last 5 ball games, the bullpen's had an ERA of 0.00. Last 11, it's been at 1. Last 20, they are 6-0 with 5 saves and 1.50. Line to left field on a 2-1 pitch. So Gary Pettis, the 9th place hitter's on for the DH Brian Downing.
Here's the bullpen breakdown in the American League. Overall, the Yankees 3rd behind the Angels and the Mariners. You see the Ranger bullpen, because their starting pitching has not been very good, and right now the Rangers are starting to experience what the Yankees are fearful they might run into later if they don't start getting some innings. And that's some weariness out there as Steve Howe loosens in the Yankee bullpen right now.
Well, now there are 4 left-handers down there with Chuck Carey. And how valuable is a left-hander in Yankee Stadium? Well, ask Joe Page and Sparky Lai and Louis Arroyo and Marshall Bridges. And the success Guterman's had. Your snap throw, balk. Jim McKee and the crew chief. There was a balk called on Eric Plunk for that jump and twirl move. So McKeon gets him this week. You are supposed to step first instead of jumping and twirling in the air. So Pettis goes to second.
Let's take a look. Look for the step. You didn't see it, because he turned first with the upper body, made the move, no step. And that's a balk. And Noakes wisely out to talk with Plunk for just a moment.
So with 2 outs, Pettis now at second base for Brian Downing, who has flied to left. Jesse Barfield with a good play with 2 out in the second and a double in the 4th. Right back at us. 1 strike. Yankees 7, Rangers 4. Yankees with 10 base hits. The Rangers have 9. One and one. Downing with an open stance. He will close it when he pitcher starts into his motion, but he still likes that ball middle of the plate in. Not quite as open to the extreme he was at times with the Angels. Missed away, 2-1. Plunk behind Downing as he was with Gary Pettis. See, through this streak, has Plunk been wearing his glasses all the time? Remember, it was last year or this year? You never know where he's going to be. Contacts or glasses or nothing at all. 3-1.
Well, Palmeiro, the left-handed hitter, is due next.
That's why
Howe's in the bullpen.
Howe is up. Yep. He got Buechele so easy. 3 pitches looking. Diaz and a weak fly down the right field line to Barfield. Now he's pitching himself into a little trouble. Let's see if he can pitch out of it. The runner's going. How about this? 3-1. Pettis just glides into third base. So now a walk to Downing, first and third. Let's see if Stutt Merrill comes out.
Well, Plunk was concentrating completely on the hitter. Downing trying to throw a strike.
Palmeiras
Delivery and paid no attention, and there's Stump Merrill on his way to the mound.
Palmeiras flied out twice and doubled and scored a run in the third. You do not want his left-handed bats to reach the right field seats, and Stump Merrill is going to the bullpen for Steve Howe. Howe has been absolutely outstanding. I don't know if there's another word you can use. He's been all but unhittable. Howe will come in for his 11th appearance, and while he's making the trot in to take his 8 warm-up tosses, we're going to leave you with the Yankees leading 7-4. Stay tuned. Against left-hander Steve Howe, there have been just 3 base hits, and he has stranded 6 of the base runners that he has inherited. He's 6 for 6. Most hitters we've seen thus far have been very surprised at his quickness. He will pitch to Rafael Palmeiro with runners at the corners, and the Yankees leading it 7-4 in the 6th. Palmeiro doesn't give ground to left-handers. He hits the ball the opposite way. Steve Howe versus Rafael Palmeiro. Ball 1. Howe hasn't been in the ball game for a few days. Of course, there's been an off day in there.
Yeah, he pitched the 3 1/3 innings against the Blue Jays on Monday.
1-1.
Not giving ground to left-handers is right for Palmeiro. He had .339 against left-handed pitching last year, and that's no fluke.
When you're going with the ball as he does, even a good slider, a good breaking ball, you can still approach that ball the opposite field. Fouled off, sinker down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So this is
play by Pascual. Are those 2 different personalities right there? Pascual Perez and Hensley Mullins. Could there be 2 dissimilar personalities? 1-2. Steve Howe trying to pitch out of Eric Plunkston. The Yankees leading by 3. 2 on. A slider weakly to Steve Sachs. He throws him out. So once again, Steve Howe strands a couple more inherited runners. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th in Yankee Stadium, with the Yankees leading over the Rangers 7-4.
The Astros continue to play a close one with the Mets. Top of the 5th, 2 outs. Kevin McReynolds hits one deep, but Astros center fielder Steve Finley robs McReynolds with a beautiful catch against the wall. Still 2-1 Mets.
McReynolds of an extra base.
Steve Howe does the job again, getting Palmeiro to ground weakly on a slider to the second baseman Steve Sachs. Noakes and Howe going over the pitch selection. They become very close. Howe, an old corner there. Guterman, Howe, Noakes, very religious people. 1 strike from Joe Bitker to Roberto Kelly, who is singled, stole a base, scored a run, and he walked. Fastball, 1-1. He won't throw that fastball for strikes. He threw one to Kelly that he fouled back, goes out of the strike zone. Then he goes right back to that split-fingered fastball. That's his lifeline. There it was. A big forkball way out in front. 1-2 to Roberto Kelly. You see Kelly, you know what he's looking at? He was looking at the scoreboard up there. I think he was looking for a replay. Maybe check his mechanics out, but it didn't come up. Just his face came up. Which player was it? Was it the Kingdom in Seattle, or the guy was running to left center field, the shortstop to get a relay, and he saw where the runner was on the scoreboard in left center field earlier this year. He got the relay, and he said, I can still get him at home plate, and he did.
That's a pretty good trick if he can do that.
Saw live action up on the scoreboard. He got him. So Bittker strikes out Roberto Kelly. 1 down in the bottom of the 6th.
Let's take a look at this strikeout pitch. He loves that split-fingered pitch, and boy, that one really dipped. So he had no chance. Jeffcoat again, the left-hander,
Mike
Jeffcoat.
Bobby Valentine with his offense, even though it's been somewhat stagnant in this half-dozen games. The Yankees only winning by 3, so Mattingly, Moss, Hall, so a string of left-handers coming up. He may go to them to try and keep it close. Too high. One ball to Steve Sachs. He is 3 for 3 with a run score, and the average keeps on going up. Way inside, 2-0. Petrelli will have a little talk with Joe Bittker.
You know, they got Bittker along with Champerino in the Harold Baines deal. Hey, there's Goose Gossage.
Hey, a familiar face back from Japan where Rich pitched about 50 innings. He's had a little shoulder tenderness, but he's been in 23 ball games for this Rangers team. Pitched very well early. He's struggled recently as the shoulder's gotten a little tight. Hit deep. Will have it up. Gonzalez will say bye-bye. Forward for 4 for Steve Sachs.
The pitch stayed up, and Sachs just taking a look to see. Oh, yeah, that's gone.
A singles hitter doesn't get a chance to do that very often. He got it about 10 rows deep. 4 home runs for the Yankees in this ball game. They now have 54. The Tigers were leading the American League at the start of this day with 60. And the Yankees in second place. Mattingly fouls it out. 2 strikes. 8-4. He looked like Harmon Killebrew. Not quite Reggie Jackson. Reggie would kind of veer off toward the dugout and almost spike somebody on the top step. Steve Sachs had a good long look. Forkball gets Mattingly with his second out. So Kelly strikes out Sachs. A monumental home run. That ball went 520 feet if it went an inch. Hit much harder than Mel Halls, who had the short field to shoot at.
Yeah, sure.
You got to protect those middle infielders.
Did you see who greeted Sachs? It was Mel Hall in the dugout. He saw him down there. He says, "You're getting close to getting that home run stance reaction correct, but not quite."
Yeah, Mel Hall's home run knocked a row of seats out in the upper deck in right field, and Sachs is settled nice and gently into somebody's hands.
You know, we've seen how devastating that split-finger pitch can be. Kelly struck out. He got Mattingly in this first pitch to Moss. But when you leave it upstairs, when it hangs there, it's trouble.
Hit hard right at Palmeiro. 2 balls hit hard, 2 strikeouts. Steve Sachs got a chance to watch this tape measure blast. Yankees leading 8-4 as we go to the 7th.
Yankees out in front 8-4 as we move into the 7th inning on the Budweiser game recap. Yankees opened it with 5 in the first. Mattingly keyed that one, and then the home run by Barfield, the big blow. Pettis single homer run in the second. They scored 3 in the third. A home run by Gonzalez, the big blow, and then 3 solo home runs for the Yankees down the middle, 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. Ruben Sierra taking a strike from Steve Howe to open the 7th. The Yankees have hit 4 home runs tonight. They did that, you'll recall, to open the homestand against Boston in the opening series. That's out of play.
Spread them out a little bit better today.
Yeah.
That was Barfield had 2 and Hall had 2 in that game.
Barfield started the home run binge tonight, but Noakes, Hall, and Sachs have all contributed behind Barfield's home run. Jesse's played a fine game and made some great plays in the outfield. There they are, the home run power, and a base hit through the left side of the infield. This is the 10th Ranger hit. And the 2nd of the night for Sierra, who was 0 for 14 coming into this one. Wade Taylor for 5. He is the pitcher of record. Gave up 4 runs, 8 hits, including a home run. Struck out a couple and walked one. They've seen a heck of a game tonight. Home runs. We've even had a stolen base that way back in the 1st inning when Roberto Kelly swiped second base. There's a strike call. And then Pettis went into 3rd in the 6th for the Texas club after he had singled and been balked to 2nd. It's out of play, and Howe is out in front of Julio Franco, 0-2.
In spite of the fact the Yankee bullpen's been so great lately, you still can't ever get comfortable with this Texas team, can you?
Boy, you're exactly right. You love the 5 in the 1st, but you just have the feeling that sooner or later the Rangers are going to put some runs on the board and come back, and they've done just that. But the Yankees have answered with the long ball tonight. A ball, 2 strikes. This is the 2nd time tonight that the Rangers have put the leadoff man on. The other time a double in the 3rd by Palmeiro when they scored 3. Goes out of there, and that's the first strikeout for Steve Howe.
Got a changeup or a fastball. It ran away from Franco.
Here's another look.
Exactly where Matthew Noakes is set up. That's a fastball, and boy, he hit the target perfectly, didn't he? You know, these couple of off days that the Yankees have had have really given their bullpen a little bit of a rest. They've got another off day coming on the 17th. And then they go a stretch up until the All-Star break where they don't have any. So they're going to have to get a little bit better starting pitching over that stretch. You're talking about 2.5, 3 weeks. Up until July 8th. And that's the All-Star break.
Juan Gonzalez, 1 strike to count. Gonzalez 2 out of 3 tonight. Off the plate in. He's hitting .315 now. The home run he hit in the 3rd is 7th of the year. Ball and a strike to count. This one out of play. Change speeds on that, so the count is 1-2. Well, the other night we gave you the Johnson profile, and we're starting a list on the Gonzalez connection in the major leagues. Juan with Texas, Jose, Luis down in Houston, and Rene Gonzalez of Toronto.
Forgot Pedro. He's a coach now of Atlanta. Finally got to the minor leagues.
We'll put him on there.
And we're talking only of active players, of course.
1-2 the count on Juan Gonzalez. Just 21 years old. Fouls this one away. Sierra singled. Franco called out on strikes. Waiting next, the catcher, Gino Petralli. Blocked by Noakes. Kept the ball in front of him. 2-2 now.
Look at Matty. He gives Matthew Noakes a hand for smothering that ball, keeping Sierra at first. Pretty good cheerleader right there, huh? Future Hall of Famer.
And he has taken that role as captain of this club seriously. Has been, as we've seen in the past, a little more demonstrative at times. This one's well out of play.
Remember just a few short weeks ago on the West Coast where he was so frustrated he was calling for the ghost of the boss to get back here to do something.
Yep.
Well, there'll still be some low spots for this team. They're a much improved team coming out of spring training. But the young pitchers develop. Wade Taylor had.
But aside from the talent that we're seeing with the young players, Tony, this team's starting to believe a little bit.
Yeah.
2-2 the count. Down to third, and a tough hop for Kelly and through into left. Sierra continues to third. Hall with the toss back to second. First and third. Gonzalez gets his third hit of the night out of that. So with one out, the Rangers keep the pressure on, even though it's a 4-run ball game.
So one thing you don't get as much of, we've talked about a reaction business. At second base, you're playing a little more deeply. Those balls that are overpowered with the topspin by the strong hitters like Gonzalez, you have time to react. But you could see that second hop, how it just ate Pat Kelly up. The base hit has been scored. You just can't play your hop like you can at second and short.
Now Bobby Valentine's going to go to the bench. Petrelli will be lifted for Mike Stanley. So Stanley's going to be the pinch hitter with the Yankee left-hander Steve Howe in the ball game.
Stanley, the guy who caught all 18 innings of that game, and he said, boy, was I sore. He said, my quad muscles, I couldn't even get out of bed the next day. And he's relatively young.
227 on the year, nothing of 7 as a pinch hitter.
Got 1 RBI. As a pinch hitter, hits the ball to right center field and hard.
So the Rangers have a threat. He was late, couldn't catch up. Strike 1. For Taylor, 2/3 of an inning for Plunk. Now got the final out in the 6th, in trouble in the 7th. Misses up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down at third, Sierra. Gonzalez at first. Thought he had the corner. Not so, says Jim Joyce.
You could see Stanley diving into the ball. Sometimes a pitch like this with a guy striding in, see how he does? It's so close. And it might fool an umpire, although Noakes did jerk it, so it was off the plate a couple of inches.
And this one drops low. So the count is 3-1.
So Stump Merrill's bullpen may not even get peace after this. You figure you get Howe out there, has been so effective. He's got him rustling down there again.
2 men on, 1 out. The 3-1 to the pinch hitter Stanley. Fouls it off. The pitch coming in on it. Stanley, a pretty good contact man. They'll hit and run with him at times, and he doesn't have great speed. So with only 1 out, the Yankees would invite the double play possibility here.
You think he'll start him? Valentine might. He does peculiar things, but you got to strike out and throw it. You're out of the inning.
Yeah. No, I just think because he is a pretty good contact hitter, the Yankees would have a shot at 2 here. It'd be tough, I think, down 4. And a ground ball to short, out at second, and out at first. The Yankees get the double play, and that retires the side. No runs, couple hits, and a man left. So Howe throws him the double play ball, and the Yankees will go into the bottom of the 7th, leading this game by 4. Yankees 8 and Texas 4. And again, we're joyed to have a representation here at the ballpark of our men and women in the armed services, and we're happy to have you with us along the Armed Forces Network as the Yankees and the Texas Rangers play tonight.
Wasn't the massive parade in Washington, D.C. today led by General Norman Schwarzkopf?
And they are massing for a big one here on Monday. Mel Hall leading off the bottom of the 7th, takes the first pitch down. Ball 1. Stanley stays in the game to do the catching after pinch hitting for Petralli. This one wide. Hall hit one into the upper deck in right field in the 5th inning. He got ahead 3-1 on the count and nailed it. Hits this one hard, fair up the right side behind the tarp, and he's going to be awarded second base because of fan interference. A double for Hall, his 8th double of the year.
Boy, is his bat like lightning? I believe that ball's out away from him. Just like Yogi Berra at this ballpark, he hooked it hard to the right field line.
Jesse Barfield is the hitter with Hall at second base. Nobody out. Jesse hit his 11th home run of the year in the 1st. Ball 1 off the plate, too close.
Even a slugger like Jesse, who's got a 3-run home run, was setting up to try and hit the ball the opposite way with nobody out and the man on second. A lot of sluggers wouldn't even try that. They just play for themselves, try and drive it in no matter where they hit it.
1 ball, 1 strike. But Isaac started, worked 4 2/3, charged with 7 runs. Whitker gave up the home run to Sachs in the 6th. Now a leadoff double to Mel Hall in the 7th inning. 2-1. Whitker was in camp as a non-roster player this year for Texas. Matter of fact, so was Gossage and so was the shortstop, Diaz. So they made good use of that non-roster situation. I think Stanley might have been as well. I don't think he was officially on their roster in the spring. Another foul ball, and he's in there catching now.
Good thing they had a look at so many people, with 12 having already been on the disabled. I think they've got 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Brad Armstrong, the former Yankee, still on the DL, right-handed pitcher.
Parent, the catcher.
Yeah.
Along with Witt.
Parent had reconstructive knee surgery. That allowed Mike Stanley to make the team, or John Russell, the 3rd catcher.
Jesse's out on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Whitker. So with 1 out, Hall's at second base, and we'll go to Lisa Burkhardt now with this from Sports Desk.
The Astros have just gone in front of the Mets. 6th inning, Ken Caminiti takes Rich Sabor over the left field wall. A 2-run shot, and the Astros are in front 3-2 in the top of the 7th. Back to you, Dwayne.
So Houston has taken a lead on that Caminiti home run. Here at Yankee Stadium, Matt Noakes will receive an intentional walk with Espinoza due next. He sets up men at 1st and 2nd with 1 out. The Rangers play the percentages a couple ways here, going right against right and also setting up a force play possibility.
Bobby Valentine does have his bullpen going. Very familiar face to Yankee fans.
Got the goose up.
Yeah.
About a week, 8 days since he's pitched.
He said he enjoyed his little mini tour of Japan. He talked about how many outstanding players there have. He said, especially pitchers. He said, but when they continue to pitch them every day, they're not thrown so hard by the time the season rolls around.
Here's Espinoza. Just foul. To the coaching box at 3rd. Nice pickup down there.
That split-fingered fastball, no different than any other pitch when it's hanging, whether it's a slider or a curveball. If he gets him up like that, out over the plate, the Yankees will have some more runs.
Whitker, 27-year-old right-hander. by Stanley. They almost had Hall cut off, and now snap throw to first, and Noakes is back in there.
Noakes was looking at the lead runner, Mal Hall, who was nearly halfway down until he saw it smothered right in front of Stanley. And then Matthew Noakes looked like he was going to umpire, thinking the throw was going to second. When you're winning, you can have a few chuckles on close plays, can't you?
It's an entirely different perspective you have.
Like Vince Coleman and Lou Brock on first and second here when we started to go.
Sort of. In some remote way. Now they have the shortstop. Whoa, a good throw, and Hall might have been in trouble there because Diaz was sneaking in behind him, and he got a step on him. But the throw back from Bittker was not good.
Mal Hall trying to get a secondary lead and also give signs of location to Espinosa, and a good throw on the bag, and Bobby Valentine would have had an out.
Espinosa waiting. Yankees trying to add to their lead. The runners are going. And a ground ball to third. Buechele's going to have to go to first. The Yankees had Hall and Noakes breaking on the pitch, and by doing that, they stay out of the double play. Stump Merrill, perhaps feeling a bit daring tonight. Once more comes up the genius.
That's Don Zimmer up from Treasure Island.
Oh, you better believe it. He phoned that one.
Bases loaded. He phoned it in the Stump. The Stump try it. You like it.
He phoned that one in long distance. There they go. How about that?
You know, it's interesting because on the pickoff, Bobby Valentine or Stanley must have said something because Hall was probably going before, which is how he almost got picked off.
Now, Pat Kelly is due, and Valentine out of the Ranger dugout, and the call is going to go to the bullpen here. So, Rich Gossage will be the new pitcher, the third of the night for the Texas Rangers. They got 4 2/3 out of the starter.
The yelling goose.
And now the goose is on his way in. They have not forgotten the goose. Really a great makeup for relief pitcher and a throwback. He spent part of that one year he was in Chicago with him. A lot of fun. 8-4, Yankees leading. Back in a moment. Gossage, the third pitcher. And Pat Kelly is going to face him with minutes second and third. And 2 gone. Hard stuff. Ball 1.
When Bobby Valentine and Tommy House, the pitching coach, looked at Rich Gossage this spring, he made it on merit because he was throwing some balls in the low 90s for several days in a row.
1 ball, 1 strike.
He has struggled over his last dozen innings or so. The first 12 innings or so he pitched, he threw shutout baseball.
Hall at third. Noakes at second. Kelly takes it for a strike. It's 1-2.
The Texas Rangers, for the first time this season, are putting 2 members into the Hall of Fame. Ferguson Jenkins, Gaylord Perry. You wonder with Gossage wearing this uniform if he may someday get in the Hall of Fame. Ronnie Fingers just missed. You look at his strikeout totals, the teams that he was with, San Diego and the Cubs and the Yankees, and how well they did. Where he is.
In the strikeout department, number 2 among relievers. Kelly tried to hold and did. So that squares the count on the Yankee third baseman.
Oh, thank you, Jim McKean. That was very close. Usually when that barrel is pointing past the frame of the plate, I'll call you out.
The 2-2. He goes wide.
You know, I was thinking of the Goose. I talked to him today, as you did before the ball game. I was thinking of when Mal Hall hit that home run in the upper deck.
Yeah.
And thinking about that 97, 8-mile-an-hour fastball that George Brett turned around. Same area.
Boy, yeah.
Same area, and hit just about as hard as Mal Hall's.
And he walks Kelly. So Kelly loads the bases here with his walk. And now we go to the top of the batting order, Roberto Kelly. Well, Gossage with the White Sox in the year with Pittsburgh before coming to the Yankees.
Well, Chuck Tanner did something with the Pirates that Al Lopez did years ago with the Oakland Indians. Remember, he took with that great staff, took Narleski and Mossy, 2 young hard throwers, made short relievers, and Chuck Tanner did that with Terry Forster and Rich Gossage.
Yep. You know, one year with the White Sox, Gossage made almost 30 starts and completed 15 games. Ball 1 to Roberto Kelly. Rangers have the bullpen up again.
He's going to pitch the whole game now, isn't he?
Yep. It's 2-0. Valentine has had a big problem staying out of his bullpen. Of course, we know the story with the Yankees. The bullpen has been active here as well. Kelly looks at a strike. 2-1. The bases are loaded. Mel Hall opened the inning with a double. He's at third. Noakes at second, reaching on an intentional walk, and Pat Kelly has drawn the walk to load the bases. 2 outs. 2-1 the count on Roberto Kelly. And the count is even. 2-2.
Gossage has had to do it with a little better control and a little slider that he throws now. Like he's even working on a changeup. He used to be a 1-pitch pitcher.
We've gone to 3 balls and 2 strikes. When he had his trouble coming from San Diego to Chicago, it was control, really. The fastball wasn't quite the same. He tried the slider a little bit. Now he's 3-2 with Roberto Kelly as the runners go. And a high popper down the right side near the stands and out of play. So Kelly and the Yankees are still alive.
He sure hasn't changed his delivery at all, has he? The ball doesn't get up there quite as fast, but still with the arms and the legs flailing all over the place. Another very vivid memory of the Goose. Aside from all those great saves he had for all the teams, was hitting Ron Say in the head. Remember that? Faced the Dodgers.
Runners will be going here on the 3-2 again. And another foul. And the pitch in. The Yankees have led since the first when they built a 5-0 lead. It's now 8-4 Yankees. The Yankees with an even dozen in the hit department. Kelly with a shot into left. He just missed Noakes. Hall scores. Noakes will score. And Roberto Kelly drives in 2 more to make it 10-4. He just did miss Matt Noakes, who ducked in the nick of time. For Roberto Kelly, 2 runs batted in. He has 23 on the year. The runs charged to Bitker. So the Yankee lead stands at 6. And Steve Sachs, who is perfect tonight, 4 for 4 is the hitter. His average is up to 272. And he gets in front of the count. 1 ball, no strikes.
The third base experimentation spurred him on to something, because when he was going, his average was already on the way down to 240. Went down lower than that.
Bouncer handled by Diaz with a flip to Franco, and the Yankees are out in the 7th inning. But they have a productive
productive inning, picking up 2 more runs on a couple hits. They'll wind up leaving 2 through 7. 10-4 Yankees. Yankees lead 10-4. On to the 8th. Steve Buechele leads off, and the first pitch from Steve Howe is a ball. Taylor, Plunk, and Howe. Buechele leading off, then Mario Diaz do. Pettis scheduled to hit third. Buechele, high drive, back into left, and Hall is there. He's got it.
There have been some Hall ones hit today.
You're right about that.
You see, we were talking about that off camera a while ago. You see so many balls being misjudged by outfielders. There's Lee Guterman, who begins to throw now. Scott may want to give him some work. So many outfielders coming in, and they think they've got a ball, and they just keep drifting, and it goes over their heads, or they barely make a running catch.
Here's Mario Diaz. It's a strike. Well, I don't know exactly what it might be that's at work. It doesn't happen consistently, but every once in a while we see it, and it's almost as if every once in a while they get a baseball that for some reason seems to carry more than another one.
Well, a lot of it has to do with where these baseballs are stored. You know, some they try and get controlled conditions. When they're shipped by boat from Haiti, sometimes they get in a damp hole, and sometimes in some of the storage places.
Down to third, foul.
They may be in a damp room, or they may be in a dry, hot room, and it all affects the carry on the ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
The ball company will always say they are all consistent.
All the same.
The coefficient of restitution, is that what they call it?
You got me.
How it bounces off
me already.
They say it's the same, it's constant.
In the right. And Barfield makes the catch. The coefficient of restitution.
That's how far, if you threw it against the wall, it would bounce back. And with all these sophisticated devices that are supposed to measure that. They drop it from 16 stars. It's supposed to bounce off the same type of floor, the same height. Who are they kidding?
Here's Gary Pettis. Pettis hitting from the right side against Howe. Too high. Ball 1. The Yankees winners last night in dramatic fashion 5-4. They've used the long ball tonight and have a 10-4 lead. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike 2.
Well, they've given the fans in Yankee Stadium something to keep coming back for. And some of it started as 2 dramatic games, extra inning in Baltimore, then Mal Hall won them the next day. And if they win today, there'll be 2 games above 500 at home in the stadium, and that's what the fans want.
The count is 2-2 now.
You see,
well, they opened it with that great series against Boston and won 2 of those games. And the fans have been into this one tonight. A little less than 28,000 paid tonight.
More and more in the city as you walk down the street, when you go into a restaurant or wherever else, see more Yankee shirts and Yankee caps coming out of the closet.
There's no question about that. 2-2, fly ball into right. Barfield all the way back. Will he have room? He leaps and he makes the catch. Barfield's had a great night out there in right field and hauls this one in. 3 fly balls. 1, 2, 3. Go the Texas Rangers. We're headed into the bottom of the 8th. The Yankees are leading. It's 10-4. Good buddy. Cool. Home run inning. Tonight's contestant in the Budweiser home run inning is Ray Muhammad of Brooklyn, New York. for being picked. He'll win 2 tickets to a Yankee game and become eligible for one of 2 grand prize trips to a Yankee road game in Toronto. And if the Yankees hit a home run during the Budweiser home run inning, you could win a Sharp VCR, and if it's a grand slam, a Sharp TV as well. So the Yankees playing for Ray Mohammed on the home run inning. Here's Don Mattingly, and he'll face a new pitcher. Left-hander Mike Jeffcoat becomes the 4th of the night for the Rangers. Short left to this popper, and Diaz out from short. 1 gone.
Jeffcoat's 27th appearance of the season, and he, like so many others out of that bullpen, is struggling. They've been having trouble getting the Jeff Russell save man recently. 5-game losing streak. He won't strike out a lot.
Kevin Moss will face him. Jeffcoat in there with a string of left-handed hitters. Mattingly, Moss, and Hall. 1 ball.
When you're in a little bit of a slump, I'm not saying Moss is in a slump, although he's in the 260s now, just below 260. It's good to face left-handers. You hang in there, keep the right shoulder a little bit longer. And so often that's a key problem, especially for a slugger with an open stance like Moss. Pull hitter. Pull the shoulder out, the head flies.
It's a strike on the corner, so it's 1-1 now.
It's a little more challenging to stay in there than a breaking ball pitcher.
Jeffcoat ahead in the count, 1-2. Well, the Yankees trying to win for the 11th time in their last 15 games. And try to move to within 3 games of the 500 mark. Came into this one 4 under. Two. 7 runs off the starter. 25-year-old right-hander Mark Pitkazik. Pitker gave up 3 in 2 innings. Gossage a 1/3 of an inning. This one's out of play. Holding the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tomorrow, Tim Leary. Jose Guzman. Guzman didn't pitch for a couple of years. Had that shoulder problem. In fact, some of their brightest young pitching prospects. Correa.
Edwin,
who blew out his shoulder. He won't pitch again.
A base hit. So Moss against the left-hander comes through with a single on 2-2. Hensley Mullins will pinch hit now for Hall. Well, there might be something to what you're saying, Tony, about hitting against the left-hander.
He stayed with a low pitch down. He just served it up the middle instead of trying to pull it. Sometimes it doesn't take a whole lot of at-bats to get you out of something. Just focus a little more. You say, gee, now, they've been telling me what I've been doing wrong, but you get a visual image and you build a positive muscle memory, and you say, oh, now I've got it. Click.
Mullins takes the pitch, and it rolls away from Stanley. Down to second goes Moss. Pitch got away from Stanley and rolled behind him. So the Yankees have a man in scoring position with 1 out and a 1 ball, no strike count on Mullins. Hensley's average .214. It's a strike. That's a pass ball charged to Stanley. The starting pitchers still the pitchers of record in this one. Hensley behind in the count. 1-2.
Well, if Wade Taylor gave himself a C on his last outing, I wonder if he can give himself something better than that today.
He probably won't. 1-2 here on Mullins. In the hole, tough play. Diaz from the outfield grass made it.
Wow, what a quick arm, huh?
Wow.
Quick and a strong arm.
So Mullins is out and Moss holds at second.
So some fine defensive work by the Texas shortstop.
A couple steps back on the grass, and the key is planting that right foot.
So Jesse Barfield is the hitter for the Yankees. One hit tonight, a first inning 3-run home run. And some great outfield play tonight from Jesse Barfield. Strike call. Yankees have led throughout. This one off the plate. Although at one time the Rangers did close the gap to only a run. They made it a 5-4 ball game. Jesse chases one. He's behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yankees now with 14 hits, 10 runs. Jeff Cope, the 4th pitcher, and a shot toward the corner. Boy, he hit that ball very hard. Hooked it into the corner, foul.
A slider that just kept breaking in and following Jesse, and his swing is so much shorter and quicker when he's in this good groove. He puts that there are times that you would jam yourself. His bat is quicker than it was a couple weeks ago.
This one sky foul, headed for the seats.
Another pitch hanging in the strike zone, didn't he? With a fork ball. So a great example that foul ball before this one that he rifled left field corner when the players on the bench say that the pitcher sped his bat up. Slider in a bad spot. You start looking like it's a fastball, and you just accelerate the bat through it. It's a little off-beat pitch.
The 1-2 again. Barfield under this one, hits it high, back into left, and Gonzalez has room in front of the track. So the Yankees are out in the 8th. No runs, 1 hit. They strand 1. We have gone through 8 with the Yankees leading 10-4. Professional beach volleyball, Texas style, from San Antonio. Here on MSG Network, the best in the game. Lee Guterman is the new pitcher. As we go into the 9th, Guterman follows Taylor, Plunk, and Howe. And Hensley Mullen stays on to play left.
Another part of that outstanding bullpen, and Guterman's been the same way for about the last few years. So that trade they made with the Seattle Mariners, Guterman has been a setup man, pitched in the middle. Wade Taylor, probably going to get his 2nd major league win. He came in on that deal.
Well, here's Brian Downing. Downing's been on base twice tonight. And the first pitch from Guterman is a strike. Downing showed up for the Rangers after they called, and then almost immediately fractured that right hand. Hit by a pitch and was out. This one is down. 1 ball, 1 strike, and then came back and reached base 8 of his first 10 at-bats. And the on-base percentage, even with his average off a little bit, the on-base percentage still good for 3rd in the league, about 4.5.
Well, everybody's always said he's not the prototypical leadoff hitter. You know, he doesn't run well, can't steal your base, but his on-base percentage is high. What's wrong with having a guy leading off who's going to hit one of the seats for you once in a while? And also extra base hits.
He'll be 40 years old in October. No, he'll be 40 or 41 in October, won't he? Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Down to short. to Mattingly. So Downing is the first out. Now John Russell will pinch hit for Palmeiro in this 10-4 ball game in the ninth.
Bobby Valentine just trying to keep a few of his bench people ready to hit. Yeah, that guy to Bobby Valentine's left with the mustache, the fellow you mentioned, Davey Lopes. You never hear his name mentioned for the Hall of Fame, and I don't know if he may be borderline, but he just would, for year after year, he would just terrorize teams when he was with the Dodgers.
And I'll tell you, he's a valuable member of Valentine's staff.
Stealing signs, checking out pitchers and reading their moves. Outfield coach. He was a center fielder one time in the Dodger organization. He even caught a little bit.
Yep.
Right fielder. I mean, there were a couple of years in a row, or more than that, where you just couldn't throw him out.
That's right.
It was just like every time he went, forget it. He's in second base or third.
Now Ruben Sierra is the hitter. Russell with a base hit on the first pitch. This one low and away, and with his knack for teaching, and he has done that aside from on the baseball field, but with that knack he has, that's why I have to believe somewhere along the line he'd make somebody a good manager. And you don't hear his name much when managing jobs come open. Very little. So many more visible. Don Baylor is much more visible. But you could do a lot worse than have him. 2-0 the count. Big chop through the left side. Russell's going to stop at second. Mullins comes up with the ball. 2 men on with 1 out. And now Franco. It's not a normal Franco day. 0 for 4. Not when your team has 13 base hits. The second baseman, Franco. The Yankees have utilized 4 pitchers now in this game. 5 innings from the starter. They utilized 3 last night with Mike Witt making his first start of the year. Base hit into center. Out of the reach of Espinosa. Russell's on his way to the plate. Sierra goes to third. And Franco has his hit and a run batted in. So 3 consecutive hits in a run. It's 10-5. Stump's running all over the dugout looking for a fat lady. She can start singing. Yeah. The run batted in, number 25 for Franco. And Juan Gonzalez, who has 3 hits tonight. Shooting .319, 3 out of 4. This one gets away from Noakes, and this will allow another run to score. He had to be crossed up there, didn't he? Sierra crosses the plate, and down to second base goes Franco. And all of a sudden, the Rangers with a couple more runs here, and they make it a 10-6 ball game. Matthew Noakes looked like he was sliding to his right, looking for a tailing fastball or sinker, and he looked like he got a slider that went the other way. See if you can see Noakes where he's going. Going, I don't know, maybe not. It goes right off the heel of the glove. Yep. It's a pass ball, but I still think he might have been crossed up. Steve Farr. Especially the way he went out and talked to Guterman afterwards. That's a foul ball. And the count is 1-1. So a pass ball allows a run to score. Maybe a 12-man pitching staff isn't going to be enough. They may have to make another move here. We got 4 position players to stump Merrill. 21 1/3 scoreless innings by the bullpen comes to an end. There's a strike. They have had a pretty good. And Gonzalez didn't like it. Had a pretty good string of not getting up a home run. It's over 60 innings now in this bullpen without anyone hit out of the ballpark. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a base hit into left. Franco will score. So the Rangers
pick up their third run of the inning, and it's 10-7. With one out.
Gonzalez with 4 base hits in this game now after starting poorly with a strikeout in the second.
So the pitch just hung up there. And Gonzalez lines an RBI single into left. So Guterman has given up 4 consecutive hits. And here's Mike Stanley. Stanley entered the game as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. They got a double play to end that frame. Guterman misses again. Ball 1.
This may be a good team to get out of here in a hurry after tomorrow.
Yep.
They're starting to swing the bats like they are tonight again.
Upstairs once more. 2 balls, no strikes. Guterman left the pitch to Gonzalez up and has missed to Stanley up on the first 2 pitches. And now Mattingly is going to call time. He'll come in, spend a little time with Guterman. See if we can get back on track and at the same time give the bullpen a little extra time.
And after tomorrow, then the off day. It's not an off day. They have to play in Columbus. On to Minnesota, then Texas. Off day, then on to Toronto.
Guterman down and in, off the plate. 3 balls, no strikes. It just won't come easy for Stump and Mark Connor.
It's no longer a laughing. No longer a laughing.
Downing went out to short to open the inning, and then Russell a pinch hit single. 4 base hits in a row. And another one through the left side. Gonzalez stops at second. So Stanley singles. That's 5 in a row.
Tying run
Stump Merrill heads to the mound with Steve Buechele coming up. So the Rangers started this inning down by 6, and here they are 1 out into the inning, and they have the tying run at the plate.
And all of a sudden there was, well, Stump wasn't quite as popular right there.
No.
They're starting to hoot him after the Yankees have had a pretty good run.
He was a genius for 8 1/3 innings tonight.
Yeah.
That's it for Guterman. Call's going to go out to the bullpen for Steve Farr. And we'll take a break here and be back at Yankee Stadium in just a moment with the score. The Yankees 10 and the Rangers 7. Third of an inning, 4 hits, and so far he's been charged with 3 runs, leaves with 2 men on base, and Steve Farr is the new pitcher.
He pitched last Tuesday against Toronto. Earned his 4th save in that ball game.
And Bobby Valentine will go to the bench. Kevin Reimer will hit for Buechele, and Denny Walling, veteran pinch hitter, is on deck.
He hopes he'll get 2 shots at that short porch in right field. Reimer playing with a severely poor groin muscle.
Roller to first, out there, and the runners advance. So Gonzalez goes to third, Stanley into second. Reimer out on the roller to first. And now Diaz will be lifted in favor of Denny Walling. Walling hitting 108 with a couple of runs batted in.
3 for 7 as a pinch hitter.
Walling originally with the Oakland organization and then wound up in Houston.
Keeps hanging around. Left-handed bat. He can pull the ball on occasion.
Spent some time with St. Louis in the National League. And is pinch hitting here in the 9th, and he takes a strike. 10-7. Farr trying to end it. One and one. The Rangers have sent 8 men to the plate in the 9th. Have 2 men on, and Walling, with a good eye, takes ball 2. 2-1. That's one thing about him. He generally doesn't chase many bad pitches. Takes a strike on the corner. Checking with Joyce over the call.
Steve Fires really shooting that outside corner. He didn't want to give him anything from the middle of the plate end that he can juice from the right field seats.
2-2 the count. Here it is. He got him. It's all over. Barr comes on to get the final 2 outs as he strikes out the pinch hitter Denny Walling. And the Yankees win this one 10-7. The Yankees have assured themselves of a winning homestand. They've taken the first 2 games of the series from Texas 5-4, and tonight 10-7. It now stands 7-4 on this homestand going into the final game tomorrow afternoon. Well, a 3-run ninth for the Rangers, but they come up short. They leave a couple men, picked up 5 hits. And tonight's play of the game, sponsored by the New York Times, in the first inning, when Jesse Barfield unloaded his 11th home run of the year with 2-men aboard to cap the 5-run first. Barfield picking up 3 runs batted in to give him 34 on the year. The Yankees never trailed after that first inning, although the Rangers made a game of it, and the Yankees hang on to win 10-7. We'll be back in a moment.